week of the year?
Are we in the biggest week of the year?
Eagles week. Week. Get amped up.
Philly
Get
sucks.
amped.
Philly sucks. Philly sucks, yeah.
Rocking that Philly sucks shirt, son, because it's Eagles week, the best goddamn week of the year. And we're coming to the link. Well, we're not going to the link. We don't want to get stabbed. But the Cowboys are coming to the link, baby. And before we get into any Cowboys news, go ahead and crack them if you got them, son.
If you got them. Crack them if you got them, baby.
I had to crack mine early.
You needed it. You were
I needed
jonesing.
it. I was jonesing for that sweet, sweet taste of nude down my throat.
You knew it was Wednesday night and you were just itching. You're like, oh, you were looking at the time. You're like, it's 6:09.
And then after I took a sip,
And when it hit your sweet lips, you were just like, oh, God, I'm
freaking pumped.
I'm ready to do it.
I thought when you take a sip, you turn into the guy on the golf course.
You want to test God?
Oh, yeah, shit. I can't find it, but that's a good one.
Guys, bandwagon boys, how you doing? 5-2, son.
I know.
Feeling good.
5-2.
I mean, last week's game makes me happy.
Makes us happy.
into it.
We were dressed up. It was the Halloween game. It was the 10 a.m.er here on the West Coast. We were cracking them. We were eating JBCs. If you don't know what a JBC is, it is a junior bacon cheeseburger from Wendy's. Those sobered us up a little bit. Dak Prescott looked like Dak of old. It was just a good old fun game of football, that was.
And I think I'd almost more excited coming out of this weekend that our Oompa Loompa reels taking some nice legs.
Yeah, check that out on YouTube. Oompa Loompas. We did it.
We did it, son.
10 million views.
AJ, what do we got on the docket for today, kid?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on today's show, the Dallas Cowboys, they're coming back from an ass ramming of the Los Angeles Rams.
Whoa. Ass ramming of the Rams. I like it.
Yeah, I was playing around with some new things.
He's
guys.
a wordsmith.
I like it.
He's
Ramming
a
the
wordsmith.
Rams. We're going to eagle the Eagles. Let's get it.
We're going to smash their eggs. But look, we had beaten the Rams by halftime, but we still ended up winning 43-20 in favor of them boys.
First time ever that score had happened in the NFL.
Very interesting. And so we'll recap that and the week. There was some trade deadline news as well we'll talk about. Then we're going to shift our focus to the Week 9 game preview where the Eagles are going to host the boys. Game starts at 1:25 p.m. inside Lincoln Financial Stadium, a.k.a. The Link. I think that's
more like the dink.
The dink.
The dink link.
Our show, though, kicks off 1 hour before the game bell does. So come right back here on Sunday. Join us. Bring BYOB as per usual. One day when Metaverse gets up and running, we're going to have beers on the house for everybody.
Dude, that'll be sweet. Doing an in-person Metaverse podcast.
Yeah, no, I like coming to your guys' Metaverse. Why is Alex always naked? He doesn't have the coins to buy clothes
It's
yet.
it's the Metaverse. That's the only answer. It's the Metaverse. It's the Metaverse.
It's the Metaverse. Patreon.
Hey,
Patreon.
We'll also be doing, of course, NFL power rankings to see where them boys are at. Make some score predictions, some bold predictions. Me and Adam are going to continue our CanFan Buck Challenge for a bottle of booze. So we'll be doing some bets. And then we'll, of course, dive into the Fantasy Football news. All this and a bunch of crackems on today's show. Boosh!
There it is.
Boosh,
there it
baby!
is. So we're going to start off with that recap that AJ said. And guys, again, the score had never happened in NFL history, 43-20, which seems like it would happen more often than not, but pretty crazy stat. My biggest takeaway from that game is how good Dak Prescott looked throwing the football.
Yeah.
While we're getting into the rapid recap and bringing that up, let's just
our special
who
guest.
wants to introduce our special guest?
Well, a guy that needs no introduction, a guy that we've been to training camp with, a guy that we went down and tailgated our asses off at the Rams game. We're going to bring on the legend, the man himself, Eric Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
Too kind. What's up, guys?
There he is.
So happy to be here with you guys again tonight.
What's up?
Sorry for being late. I was having a little bit of a router issue, but I think we solved it. You guys hear me okay?
We got you. You're coming in glorious.
Hear ya and see ya.
You're loud.
Dude.
You're loud and bootsing. I don't know.
So pumped.
Now so Boots, we're just getting into the kind of rapid recap for last game, 43-20 victory, never been seen in NFL history. Just talking about Dak having his, I would say, and I think the stats agree, his game of the season. throwing 4 touchdowns. But you said that, and so I was just bringing our boy Bot G up to speed. Here's my take on that. Why is he so up and down, inconsistent? Damn it! Why is it Dak? Is it like what's changing week to week that he has such a big fluctuation in the way that he plays?
Well, do you think he was inconsistent? I thought he was consistent against the Chargers. I thought he had a very good game. I thought before the game against the Rams, the Chargers was his best game. Sure, they didn't light up the scoreboard. They only scored 20 points, but he was moving around in the pocket. He was using his legs. He was force-feeding CeeDee Lamb. Dak looked good at the Chargers game, right? Then we had the bye week, and it looks like we've picked up right off from where we left off before the bye. So maybe now they're just starting it. You got to think, they're in a new offense this year, right? As much as Mike McCarthy said they were going to keep aspects of Vanilla Pudding's offense, it is a new offense. It's going to take time. We're in week 8, and maybe this is the time we start seeing it open up and actually start producing some tuggies.
You also made a great point, maybe the week before when we were coming out of the week before last week, idiot. You were saying we only had that one game with 4 T's and a Z. So having that offensive line, like they weren't even in rhythm. So the bye week is a great area to assess all of the things that have gone wrong thus far in the season. You got a lot of your starters back and in action. And hey, what's not working? Let's adjust it. We have more than enough time coming out of this to try to make those consistent plays and have Dak be a more consistent player, at least in that game. But as Alex was saying, it is nerve-wracking that he goes one game as a fucking dog and the next game as like not a dog.
Boots, what do you think? What do you think? Do you feel like the Cowboys are finally hitting stride, or?
And you said it first. You're never wrong. I think it was a combination of both. You know, the opportunity of letting Dak cook. We have McCarthy. Hey, are you guys? I saw the bandwagon boys. They're laughing at my comment over here.
No, I loved it. I was pointing. I was pointing.
A Dak rider.
I was pointing at them, saying, "See, Boots knows what he's talking about."
No, I'm just shaking. I'm shaking my head. I'm shaking my head at you saying Ant's always right. Like, fuck, hey, fuck that guy.
Boots, you might.
Both of them. I saw both of them. Halloween was yesterday, boys. I don't need you guys rolling your eyes. Make those comments.
Oh, Bootsy.
Anyhow. The fact that I thought McCarthy had a much better, or he's the reason that Dak is playing so well. They're letting him cook. I think we saw something that we really hadn't seen the first couple games with that offense. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was a lot of more motion before pre-snap motions. When before it was like they line up and they just, the defense reads to see what they're going to do, and then they just go out and have a better idea of what they're going to do, and they're going to stop it. But in this last game, I would say at least maybe 50, 60% of the snaps, you saw someone running, you kept the defense going. And then I kind of felt like Dak got the opportunity to do a lot more audibles, or at least it sounded like he was calling more and more audibles every single play. And that allowed him to throw off the defense, change it, let the man cook. And I think by being more creative and being less predictable, it allowed the Cowboys to actually run and, put in players in positions where they can succeed. There was a lot of plays where, they handed the ball over to CeeDee, they handed the ball over to Turpin, and I think they were able to establish a little bit of a run game, and it opened things up for the passing game, which at the end I think we had a little more passes and running plays as well. So
definitely.
Well, the best game, I guess, doesn't stop there, because if we look at two other players, I think that this game was their career game. And again, statistically, CeeDee Lamb had a career game in terms of he had the highest amount of reception yards, 160, 158. 158. So that's great. Plus added on 2 touchdowns. I mean, I don't think you can argue that, right? That's probably a career high.
Cracking player of the game. Yep. He gave him Cracking player of the game.
Player of the game. The other guy on that list, Deron Bland, he led the team with 7 total tackles, 6 solos, and a pick 6. I don't know if you can really ask for more from a player. And if you look back in his history, he's had a really good job at picking off the ball. But I think this one kind of really, you're waiting for him to fail after Diggs goes down. You're just waiting for him to fail, and he just keeps getting better.
I love it. Boots was one of the first guys to say that he really liked Deron Bland, because Boots, he went to college around you, didn't he, Bland?
Yeah, well, I'm a Fresno State fan as well. I grew up Central California. So I do watch him from time to time. And then Deron Bland was just a name that always popped up to me. And then when I saw him in training camp, I didn't really know. All I knew is that he was a Fresno State guy. So I was like, okay, let me pay a little attention to him. And then I was surprised how often his number kept popping up whenever I was like, hey, who made that block? Who picked that ball away? Who made that interception? And I just kept looking, Deron Bland again and again. And I was trying to keep like a little mental tally of whose name I kept hearing, just so I can discuss about it. And then at the end of the day, it was Deron Bland by a landslide.
Yep.
So I remember when you guys were talking and you were, hey, who's that dog? Who's that pet cat? Who are we going to be talking about, in the next year? And I remember I said Deron Bland. And I think he was like the 5th round pick at the time. And since then he's proven us right. I mean, I know Anthony, you guys got a little bit behind it as well. You saw him a little bit in preseason come to life, and just really this year saved the season for us.
Yeah, and I also want to give some props out there to Turpin. Almost forgot about this, but Sam Williams block punt for the safety, and then Turpin returning that 63-yard. Was that called back?
No. So he returned that one. He got to the red zone.
Right.
But then he did return another one for a touchdown.
Got called back.
It got called back.
He's coming to life too. We've been waiting for these type of breakouts, and that's the confidence. I don't care if it was just weak special teams. That type of movement gives him confidence when he gets the ball. He gets frustrated when he catches the ball or fair catches it, and then he was like, "Oh man, I could have moved." Like we've seen that, right?
And he looks fast, man. He looks fast as that meme that went around a couple of years ago. Fast as fuck, boy. That's every time he's running, he just looks so much faster than everybody else on the field, and he just needs that one seam, and he's gone, and he showed it. The special teams played great. Aubrey had the 50, was it an 8 or 59-yard field goal? He also tied the record for most kicks to start off a game or start off a career. He has a chance to break that this week, but he was again perfect. He had the block team by Sam Williams, and then the massive return by Turpin. So all 3 phases of the game of the team were just kicking against the Rams.
I love that we don't really spend so much time talking about the kicking game. I remember last year we would spend a good chunk just complaining about Maher and all his missed kicks. So this is just like really, it just feels really nice to be able to have a solid kicking game from automatic Aubrey over here. And
isn't like Aubrey 1 kick away from setting an NFL record for most kicks to start an NFL season? Is that?
Yeah, if he makes a kick next week, his first field goal attempt next week, if he makes it, or against the Eagles, he sets the record for most made field goals to start a career, which is very impressive.
Don't jinx him, guys.
It's jinxed. It's everywhere. And you know what? I don't really care if he doesn't get it. If he doesn't get it, he doesn't get it. But it'd be nice to see, because we were all together in training camp when he had a rough day, and I remember saying in the Airbnb, our kicker isn't on the roster right now, guys. I remember telling all 3 of us that he was not there, and he's been very surprising.
Maybe he got all his misses out of the way in training camp, so
we'll take it.
Yeah, that training camp. I mean, we have footage of it. It's we were seeing in real time both of them just shanking the shit out of it, and we're just like, this is fun. Like, is this what we're talking about right now in training camp? Who the heck? Like, how are kickers so bad? And the guy's been a dime. So that's been one of the best surprises so far this year.
Yeah, and I'm glad they cut Vinny Vincenzo or whatever the hell his name is.
Vinny Vincenzo.
Yeah, no, Aubrey is definitely, I consider, penciled in for the Pro Bowl as kicker, and it's his place to lose.
Yes,
most
you're
staff,
absolutely
most
right.
staff.
Well, the scary thing with kickers is it doesn't matter. We had a good kicker last year, technically, up until he wasn't good anymore. So once they get the yips, it's a problem. Let's just hope Aubrey just doesn't give a shit about that.
He's injecting some of that ice cold crackems into his veins.
Yeah, crack 'em. Yeah.
Did you say semen?
Yeah, I might have. Yeah, keep it ice cold.
Whatever gets him going.
Well, gentlemen, not really much more to say about that game.
No, it was an ass kicking. It was done at halftime. You're right. There's not much else. Even by kind of third quarter, I'm like, fuck, we're going to be really drunk because there's nothing else really going on. So, yeah, not much else to say about it.
But also this week for NFL, just NFL news in general, trade deadline, I think it ended
yesterday at 4 p.m. Eastern time.
4 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. our time. We were waiting, but not really expecting the Cowboys to do anything. Of course, they didn't. But our competitors got better. The Cowboys kind of just stayed neutral.
Yeah, I'm going to lead out. I want Boots to lead out with this because I know my opinion. But Boots, you've been a Cowboys fan for a long time. Are you getting over the fact that we never do shit at the trade deadline when we have a team that could be one or two pieces away from really making a run?
You know what? I'm gonna say, like, as far as the Cowboys are concerned, yeah, that seems to be the pattern. They don't really do their trades at the trade deadline, but they did a bunch of trades before the season started. I mean, we were complaining about, why didn't they do anything? Well, what do we have to give? I think next year's draft, we have a first, a second, a third. We don't have a fourth. We don't have a fifth. We don't have a sixth. And then we have a couple of sevenths, if I'm not mistaken. So what are we going to give away? What are we going to, like, is somebody out there really worth a one or a two for next year that already is that much better than who we already have on the team?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know Jerry's getting a lot of slack for it, but I mean, if you think about it, Cowboys probably did about 4 or 5 trades before the draft. After the draft and before the preseason. So I'm not that mad at it. If anything, I think it did us a favor. Was it Chase Young, and Montez Sweat always used to give Dak a headache whenever we played the Commanders, and now they're not there anymore. So I feel good about that. I feel like we won, even though we weren't even involved in that trade. And yeah, they did go over to the Niners, but I mean, the Niners, they're forced to be reckoned with, no doubt. But they've lost 3 in a row. I think teams are starting to figure them out, or CMC and Debo and all those big guys are starting to break down. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm not going to get mad at Jerry for not trying to do, because, I mean, I think everybody just wants to watch him break the bank, and it's easy to spend other people's money, but there is a cap, and we do have big players we have to play. We have to pay Micah Parsons. We have to pay, Deron Bland's going to want some money next year too. So, I'm sure they're going to rework Dak Prescott, but there's a lot of people on our payroll that deserve money and have earned it. So I'm not mad at Jerry for what he's doing.
I would love to spend Jerry Jones's money. Give me 48 hours with his money, and it wouldn't be anything to do with football. It would have nothing to do with football. Just give me his 8 or 9 or 10 or $11 billion and let me just go ham.
If we had we have 7.1 million in the bank. Okay. I think it's 1.5 million next year in the hole. So our cap is much better, 1.3 million next year in the hole. Our cap is much better leading into next season than it was the previous season. But you're right, Boots. They did make some moves that freed us some cap. I believe they are able to do that every year anyways. But still, they always work within the cap, it seems like, once it's been set at the beginning of the season. And maybe that's super smart. I really wish there would have been a move, even just for like a solid two or second or third stringer who we know who could come in. Because look, last game we went down, we had our second string, or technically our third string, I guess, with Awesome Richards coming into play. With the Goda out now too, are we going to see Smith slide over? And there was this pickup by the Vikings. I'm not saying trade from the Vikings. I'm not saying the Cowboy, or was it a pickup or a trade?
So the Vikings traded Ezra Cleveland to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 6th round pick. And he's going to be a starter. Like he can start at guard and he can be good at guard. So what you're kind of building off of, Alex, is the Cowboys could have traded for him and
or
then
someone equivalent,
and then kicked out possibly Tyler Smith to tackle. Because right now,
necessary, yeah.
Maybe the Cowboys were looking on Sunday against the Rams that it didn't seem like that big of an issue, and maybe Awesome Richards is that guy. So I still would have liked a depth trade too. Like even if you trade a 7th away or a 6th in 2025 to get some more depth on the O-line, because right now we are 1 or 2 offensive linemen going down to almost have the season be on life support, and that's fact.
Just my rationale is, if you're going to get a player who is going to be a second string or at least a guaranteed third string, in a position where we know things can deplete quickly, even though our starting line, when they're together, they're solid. Once one goes down, it's a pretty fucking barren land back there in our reserves. So, I mean, if you can trade a 5th, 6th, or 7th round pick for someone who you know is going to play football, that's a no-brainer to me. You go out there and you do it. Like, those are almost kind of, I would trade those picks all day for a veteran, quote unquote, NFL player who shows that they can play at this speed, because you don't know when you're drafting these guys if they're going to be able to do that.
Well, this is almost this is the best trade that this
Yes.
Ezra Cleveland. Jacksonville made the best trade. They didn't give up a big draft capital for someone, but they got a guy that's automatically going to strengthen their team, their offense. It's going to help Trevor Lawrence out. It's going to help Etienne out. It's going to help that offensive line out. And that a trade like that is more exciting to me than trading for Derrick Henry, which didn't make much sense to me, or trading for even a Chase Young. Like we're not trading for Chase Young. We're not trading for Sweat either, right? So the Ezra Cleveland trade would have made sense, and I really would have liked something like that.
Yeah, I agree. The fan of me wants to see some sort of move in the Cowboys. Like everyone else is getting some action. We look at some of these teams that you're like, oh, this is a solid roster on these teams, and they're making moves to get better. Why can't we be in the mix? Ultra brings up a great point that I wasn't even necessarily thinking about. And again, we don't know what the inner talkings of the teams are, but a comment that Ultra brought up is that he believes Bland and Bell, the play of Bland and Bell did not make the trade deadline a priority. So the fact that these two dudes come in and Marquise Bell and Deron Not So Bland are coming in, and all of a sudden they're now like solid. Toss them one, son. They're solid. They're solid choices. They're solid options for not having to go out there and try to get the secondary in place. But if anything, you have a guy like Ezra Cleveland that is a pretty solid O-line option. Let's pull him in. Like why wouldn't? And maybe they did. Maybe they did actually. Maybe they were at the table for him and they couldn't make something happen. But
I mean, and it's not necessarily specifically Ezra Cleveland. It's just the value that the Jags got for him in a 6th round pick. Let's up it to 5th. I would still be happy with someone who could play both guard and, because the problem with Ezra when I looked at him is he is a straight left guard. He at least this year he hasn't played anything else. So I'm not saying that he doesn't have the ability to, but you'd really be looking for a guy who's maybe playing a little bit of both, try to get that value, because that's what the Cowboys need with how they play Tyler Smith, who can pop out to left tackle and cover that nicely. Well, now we need a solid left guard. So in that kind of scenario, obviously Ezra would be perfect because he would fill in on that position. But we just saw Igoda or Idoga, whichever way that goes, was playing left tackle. And they're keeping Smith at guard, so they must really like what he's doing there.
He has been the best guard in the NFL almost.
Exactly,
But like Boots had brought up earlier, the Cowboys don't have a 5th or 6th to trade for next year. So that automatically puts them out of even getting them. That's like Eric had said, we had made our trades already, so Cowboys fans kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, no.
If I could just add something, guys, crack him if you got him.
Crack him if you got him, Bootsy. Crack him if you got him.
Hang on, let me get on.
And second of all,
Crack him if you got him,
there was
AJ.
like 13 trades made at the deadline yesterday, which means that 19 other teams in the league did not. Yet everyone's talking about the Cowboys for not doing anything. You know, instead of talking about the 13 trades, we're talking about the other 19 teams or 18 teams that didn't do anything. Everyone's focus is on the Cowboys because, again, it's just hate. People are trying to, throw rocks at things that shine or whatever. Just bottom line is the Cowboys made their trades. Obviously, McCarthy feels good about the team that he has. He's always been about developing players. I think I saw Ultra on the chat bring that up as well, because he is about developing young players and bringing them up through the system. So I think we're going to be fine.
I just have to say this.
say it.
First of all, the reason we always get excited is because every time you open up your goddamn phone, Cowboys are linked to every trade. Okay, so don't blame us for getting just a little excited every time a player gets called that they might be traded. The other thing though is you make good points. It's just like the teams that did make moves are contenders.
But they have picks to trade.
I know,
like they have the picks to trade. And would you trade a 3rd or a 2nd or a 1st for Ezra Cleveland?
No.
My argument is if you know you make a trade for a 3rd or higher if you know that guy is the one piece you're missing to get you over the hump. And I don't know if there was a guy out there that the Cowboys saw that could do that. And then we kind of don't have the draft capital for next year's draft to be able to get any of the pieces that we would have liked to kind of get.
Well, I would trade a 3rd-round pick if I felt like I was going to win the Super Bowl this year, unless my
hands down
my O-line went down, and I would spend a little bit more to win this year if that's the case.
Definitely. And maybe the Cowboys just didn't see, or Jerry didn't think that was the problem.
Like, I know it's I think we do have a round 6 compensatory and a round 4, I guess. 2 round 6 compensatories.
Yeah,
Can you trade those though?
No,
you can't trade those. Yeah,
because those get decided after if
right.
the other team keeps the player.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. The best combination we could have done would even trading the 4th round again. It would depend. Long story short, what the fuck does it matter? Trade deadline's over. The only way we're gonna get someone now is via waivers, or some sort of special player from, I don't know, South Asia,
Canada.
Adrian Peterson wants to come back and play the league.
an oldie or some player in South Asia or Africa where they like are scouting and they find some guy who's never played football, but's like a Francis Ngannou type of fucking.
Hey man, we should draft Ngannou. I bet you that he could play football. He just knocked Fury around pretty good.
Oh yeah, that dude could come in and play. But no surprises. I was hoping for something, but even if it was a trade, it would have been something like we're trading whatever.
It would have been a depth signing.
Yeah, exactly.
And nothing that the Derrick Henry was never happening. It was fun to talk about, but it was never happening.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit some chat comments here on this section.
Dude up.
Ultra is just very positive because he doesn't think that any of the trades that these other teams have been doing, like
where's the real Ultra?
How'd they get better?
You alien shapeshifter, get out of his body.
How'd they get better? Eagles and 49ers secondary is still trash. He does. He goes, Tyler is your decade-long All-Pro left guard due to special. And then he says, watch Asim be the starting left tackle in 2024. I mean, you have. Anth went from not knowing Tyler Smith's name to now rocking that Tyler Smith jersey right there. So we're big fans of Tyler Smith.
I was gonna wear it today, but I have to have the Philly Suck shirt out. So
well, that's a conversation I'm gonna want to come back to after I've had some time to research, so I can sound smart. But I want to know more about Awesome Richards. I want to see him more on the field.
Well,
if he does have that potential.
The reason I was bringing up the Awesome Richards in 2024 is a lot of the last couple comments that Ultra has been making in the last 2 weeks when we're talking about trade deadlines and whatnot.
On your Ultra Cowboys tracker?
On my Ultra Cowboys tracker.
Ultra Cowboy, he's been on a good one lately. He's actually been right about a lot of things.
Eric, we got this tracker which shows like his morale.
Good. Happy or completely devastated. During a game, it's like this. It's just fucking hitting off both sides.
The best thing with
Depends
Ultra,
what you say.
Yeah, the best thing with Ultra is when I feel like when we're in that angry cowboy mode, he comes in with some sort of positive affirmations to get us like all positive.
But vice versa, when you're in that elated Cowboys mode, he's gonna come in with the hammer.
Dan Quinn's defense sucks.
Yeah, they just Deron Bland scores a pick 6 and it's Dan Quinn's defense sucks. But what he keeps reminding in chat every time we talk about trade deadlines, like our draft class this past year has been for next season and the season's on.
Our draft class this year has been awful. So it better be a 2024 draft class. I'm holding Ultra to that.
A couple other comments here before we move on to our next segment. What do you guys think about bringing in T.Y. Hilton again? Dak seemed like he trusted him last year.
Our wide receivers seem to finally just be kind of hitting it together. I feel like if you bring him back, you're taking snaps now away from Turpin. Yeah, they're the same role. I'd rather see Turpin in that similar role or that similar type situation that TJ Hilton was in. And that's not saying that TJ Hilton wasn't good when he came in. He had that great 3rd and 30 catch against the Eagles last year. He was a spark plug. He was good for the younger guys. But I like our top 4 right now. I do. I like Cooks is just starting to get it. Michael Gallup's making plays. CeeDee Lamb's been damn good the last 2 games, and Turpin's that 4th guy right now. So I like how our wide receivers are right now.
Well, and on that too, we're seeing Turpin get the ball more with
that.
Gallup kind of just plateauing, and that's fine. That's the position we need him to play. He might be doing more out there than his stats show, especially with CeeDee Lamb getting all the ball. But I believe last game, I'm just looking for the exact numbers, but I'm just going to go off memory, and you know how that is. But no, Gallup just out snapped Turpin by just a handful of plays.
Wow.
So we're seeing that even out more. I mean, to answer the question directly, I think never say never, but I just don't see a spot on the football field for him at this point.
Boots, what do you think? Would you like to bring T.Y. Hilton back?
No, I think that wide receiver room is already crowded. I mean, it's a nice thought to bring him back, but I think we have enough firepower on the wide receiver room. The one guy who I'm going to ask you guys to, because I actually would not mind this guy coming back to the team. He's a free agent right now. He got medically cleared about a month ago. But how would you guys feel about signing Lyle Collins back to the team?
For a depth spot, I mean, he knows the off.
Compare him to Ezra Cleveland.
Yeah, he's been a good player in the NFL. He was a good player for us. I was one of the main guys that was pissed off when we didn't re-sign him. I was really choked that we were letting him go for Terrence Steele, and then Steele had a really good year last year. But if he could come on for cheap and just be another guy and maybe play swing tackle, then yeah, I'd be all for
bring him
kicking
on
the
that
tires.
Jason Peters type of deal.
Yeah,
like last year.
It's not gonna hurt the team.
Hey, bring the guy on, sign him for a min, and just throw a bunch of fucking incentives at him.
Exactly.
And that's what we don't know what the office is talking about, because they could be looking at that move just like Boots is talking about, and not making any type of trade deadline move because they know they're going to do something over here.
Well, if they did something like that, that to me is almost, I'm not going to say the better pick if you could get a guy that could start instantly, but financially it's not a bad idea, and it's a good safeguard just in case. So I like that, Boots. That's actually if they did that, I'd be on board for that.
If Jerry does have that going, on the down low, and people don't really know, and all of a sudden next week, hey, Lyle Collins, signing with the Cowboys, all of a sudden everyone's gonna stop, crying about not signing someone at the deadline, because I did like that whole Ezra Cleveland. I think that would have been a nice pickup. But for depth, is there anybody on the offensive line that he would replace immediately?
No.
Exactly. So why are you going to give up a 1 or a 2 or even a 3 for someone that's not going to contribute right away?
No.
But I feel like Lyle Collins, if someone goes down, that's someone that, you're not really taking a depth. He actually, as a matter of fact, he'd probably replace maybe Tyron Smith, maybe if he were to get hurt again.
Yeah.
And it'd probably be better than Chuma Edoga.
Well, he would be better than Chuma, and he'd be better than Awesome.
I like that. I like picking him up, and I think he's owed some guaranteed money from Cincinnati as well. So, he'd collect, and it wouldn't be that expensive. At least I wouldn't think.
Yeah, no, that's actually a great call.
Okay, so our boy Gus that Boots met in IRL.
Gus, we got shots of tequila with Gus.
Yeah, I think that shot was the one that put me out. That zombified me.
That zombified AJ.
Not the 55 vape shot or vape tokes.
Yeah, our boy Gus from AKA GR7. Philly sucks. Crack him with a $4.99 super chat.
Appreciate it.
Super chat, baby.
Gus.
Also, because there's an Eagles fan in the chat saying good luck on Sunday, so I think he wants to just
that's
crank
cool.
back at him.
They were being sarcastic saying it.
Maybe.
Hey, Fly Eagles Fly 23, you were one of the rare ones, my dude.
Welcome to the Saddle Dome.
Welcome to the Saddle Dome, baby.
He probably wants to know where you can buy one of those sweet shirts that Anth is wearing right now. We should probably tell him the link or give him the website so he can go. Buy one of those sweet shirts.
Yeah, these Philly Suck shirts are available right now at cowboyscanfan.com/store. Is it?
Flying off the damn shelves.
/store.
Oh,
store question mark?
And that one that Bot G's wearing is not available yet, is it?
No, that's a special edition.
Special edition.
That's how you know you're in with the crew.
Look at that fucking thick chest there. Pump it up again. Give me that. There we go. Yeah.
I never thought I was gonna be like a YouTuber
Model?
or content creator, much less sex symbol for Cowboys Nation. It's just
it just happened. It fell right into you.
Boots, I've been editing together your tailgate session, and it's going to probably drop tomorrow or Friday. And not only are you great on in IRL, but like you have you live up to your name. You are the feet on the street, boots on the ground, getting in there with mixing it up with the Tailgate Nation. You got some legs there, and Can fans happy to have you on the team.
We got to talk about those videos because one of those days there's going to be used like legally against me. I'm going to get in trouble.
No.
Hey, I blame you guys for leaving me alone. Just to tend to myself around all the.
You were holding down the Can fan camp.
Yeah. No, I was. I'm happy. It was a nice change of pace, to get Bot G out there.
Correct
If you got him.
Okay, let's get into these power rankings.
Just to wrap up on the Leo Collins comment, Ultra is just saying they're not going to pick up Leo Collins. It was a culture move. He's not a team first player. He's out of the locker room for the sake of the team.
Okay.
Oh, and then we have Robert Slavin giving a $2 super chat. I'm a 49ers fan, but I hope Cowboys win big.
Hey, we'll take it.
We'll take
Thank you, Robert.
After
take that.
after week 5, we can come back together with our friends who are 49ers fans.
Yeah, be amicable. And it's also nice that they've been 0-3 since they played them boys.
That's felt good. It has. I will say that. Sorry. What was the guy's name? Sorry, Robbie. Sorry, Robbie.
Okay, AJ, what do we got next?
Well, you know how Eric Edholm does of NFL.com when he's dropping these NFL power
Maybe let Ad read the title so we don't have to hear it.
Okay.
5 minutes after you've read it.
Or let's wait till he's paying attention. Hey,
you.
over here,
Hey,
over
hey.
here. So,
Boy, hey.
week 9 power rankings, evens, Eagles, Ravens, and Dolphins top board after shakeup. Chiefs, 49ers, fall. Finally, those fucking Chiefs.
Yeah, they lost to the Broncos, man. And you know Russell Wilson was just, let's ride.
What an annoying flight or bus ride home with Wilson after that one.
Mr. Undisputable. What was his nickname? Mr. Unlimited.
I'm unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited, baby.
Doing lunges down the aisle, I would fucking kick his fucking ankle.
Before we ask you guys, Boots, what we do here, I know you watch the show. We pick where we think the Cowboys are going to be on the power rankings. They were 8th last week, but I will say this about the Denver Broncos beating the Chiefs. As the teams were leaving the stadium, the Broncos were blasting Taylor Swift on their sound systems, which is hilarious.
Which is awesome.
Like, that's a great troll. That's a great troll.
Well,
I love it. That's on my ringtone whenever Anthony calls. I play "Shake It Off."
Yeah, shake it.
That's my jam.
That would be a great one.
It's a great song.
and
There's two kinds of people in this world, gentlemen. There's Swifties and there's liars.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Ain't
my
that the
Swiftie
truth.
brethren. Look, I'd fuck Taylor Swift, but I don't want to listen to her music.
Fair enough. Okay,
Option 2 for AJ.
into the power rankings. Boots, you're the guest. We will let you pick first because whatever you pick, it gets taken off the board. So you're up, my man.
So just to bring everyone up to speed, last week was
They were 8th.
and they retained that 2 weeks in a row or 3 weeks.
3
in a row.
weeks.
Yeah.
The week before the bye, yeah.
So just keep that in context.
Okay, I'm gonna go conservative. I'm gonna just say 7 because
7?
these power rankings never show the Cowboys any love.
That's
So
true.
I think with them winning, the Niners losing, and even the Chiefs, I think there's gonna be a little bit of a shuffle there. You got to give the Cowboys at least one step forward.
I like it.
7.
Are we gonna go counterclockwise, starting with you, Anth? Or
No, I'll go last.
okay.
So
you, me, Anth.
I'm going 5.
Ooh.
I'm going 5. And I mean, I know
Okay.
this is gonna bite me because I do believe that they'll place the Bills ahead of them. And even though the Bills' record
Didn't the Bills lose their last game?
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I think
You said this last week, and then the Bills were, I think they were like out of the top 10.
For some reason, I just feel like the Bills will be ahead of them. But
That's going to be right now that I called them out.
I'm gonna go 5.
5,
Okay.
because that's how many fingers I have.
Yep.
So it's going to go Eagles, Ravens, Dolphins. Both the Chiefs and 49ers fall, which means there is a spot. I just don't know how much the Chiefs and 49ers fall, but I'm going to guess they go 4 and 5. That 5 spot's open though.
AJ's going logical
Okay.
there.
For me, it's between who you said 5. So Adam might have it right. Then I would have to go 6 or 8. Just hang with 8. I'm gonna hang with 8.
You're going. I was gonna do 8. So because you went 8, Ad said 5. Boots said. I gotta say 6.
It's gonna be 6.
I gotta go 6.
It's gonna
and
be
I'm
6.
saying that the Cowboys did have a beatdown. They absolutely smashed out the Rams. There's a couple teams that have been in the top 5 that haven't looked good. The Niners. I think we're going to jump ahead of them this week. The Niners.
Okay.
The Chiefs are going to be still in the top 5. 6. I think 6 is a great spot for the Cowboys. Woo! I feel good about that pick.
Let's do it. So Eagles are number 1, right?
Oh, they have to be.
Yeah, Eagles will be 1.
Kansas City's still number 1.
This fucking thing doing it again where I can't scroll. Oh, well.
It's cheating on your finger. So, yeah, Eagles at 1. I mean, that's not a surprise for anyone. Baltimore Ravens up 2 to number 2.
Okay.
That's impressive.
Dolphins.
Dolphins up 2 to number 3.
That's the
Too
thing.
high.
That's the thing
Too
about
high for the Dolphins.
Well, they tell us. They tell us every week. Kansas City number 4.
Ooh, so adds up. Number 5, our first pick, adds up. Number 5.
I hope you're right.
It's going to.
Ooh, the Jaguars.
Jags.
Ooh, forgot about
enough.
them.
The Jags
They're
are
gonna-
sneaky
they're-
6 and 2.
No, okay, so Cowboys are going to be 7. Cowboys are going to be 7 because I bet you.
You think
the
it's gonna be the
Ravens
Bills?
the Ravens are going to be 6, and then it's going to be
No,
The Ravens were 2.
fucking
Ravens are already up
fuck
there.
me, man. I'm out of here.
49ers, you
Niners
think
at 6,
49ers are going to be 6?
49ers. That's who I was.
I bet you it's the Eagles. Cowboys!
Oh, 6!
Woo! Pencil that in, baby!
Did you get it, Ant?
Yeah, I got
Ant
6.
got it. My gut was saying 6, but I said 5.
I know you bitched out. You went for it.
I also bitched out. I was calling 6 or 8, and I figured they would just hold them.
I was going opposite of you, so I thought you were going to go 6, AJ. I did.
I felt like it, but hey, one of us won, and that's what's important, right, guys?
Fucking kill me.
So whenever you get that out, let's hear what they're saying here about our Dallas Cowboys up 2 spots.
The Cowboys have picked themselves off the mat since the 49ers debacle in week 5, a gut check road win in week 6, the week 7 bye, and then the 3-phase destruction of the Rams. A get-right game for the offense, if there ever was one, have been cleansing. On Sunday, Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb were as locked in as they've ever been. The early pass protection was frightening, and Tyron Smith returning would be huge, although that unit settled in eventually. Since losing to San Francisco, the Cowboys have answered several questions, but more loom in week 9, which will feature the biggest game for the Cowboys in forever, a trip to Philly. That rates 5 out of 5 stars on the Madden Summer All 425.
I don't know
Eastern
what the
scale.
fuck they're trying to say there.
Wait, Tyron Smith returned? I thought he didn't play.
No, they're saying Tyron Smith returning would be
returning.
huge.
Okay,
yes,
yeah,
would
yeah.
be if they can get him back at left tackle, that would be huge.
for coming up. Yeah. Well, no, it's very true. It was the win that we needed.
That was some nice words by Ed. What is his Edholm?
I thought you were going to say
Edward?
Me.
No, those were nice words by you too. I was engaged.
Great words.
I was definitely engaged with you. If I could have you as my Google Maps person talk to me, so I could just yell at you, "Shut the fuck up!" That was not nice. Just to have you say it to me, your voice would be much more calming than what Siri does for me.
Yeah.
Very poetic.
I appreciate that, boys. Thank you.
And it's in Philly, so we shall see. Let's just round off this 10. We got the Lions holding strong at 7.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Niners! Bang, bang, Niners gang at 8.
All the way down to 8.
But there's not 8 of them.
9 picks?
Bills
Oh,
at
the
9,
Bills.
just holding on to 9, 5 and 3. It feels like the Bills are 2 and fucking 7, but
Yeah.
They've had a weird season. The
yeah.
Bills are super weird. They either look like Super Bowl champs or dog shit.
it's just like high ceiling. And the Seahawks slowly 5 and 2 had a good win against Cleveland last week. Was it Cleveland? Yeah.
Before we get off of this power rankings, this is at the point of the season where a lot of these teams are going to start pulling away. There's a lot of teams right now that are 5 and 2, 6 and 2, 5 and 3. This is when it gets the good teams actually start pulling away. You'll
Yeah.
see some of these teams will kind of middle out to a 500 type base, and then the top teams in the NFL will just keep their arc going. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out of that top 10 because we're right. Everyone's neck and neck.
After this week.
Can I interrupt and just give All Even Podcast with Barry a shout out?
Yeah.
He just said something so nice on the chat. If you guys want to read it.
So Barry Grant Jr. of the All of In podcast with that $2 super chat wanted to come in almost like some sort of wrestling run-in, and he says everyone is so handsome on this show, and he gives a nice toonie, as we call it up here in
Yeah,
Canada.
we call that a tune. I love me a toonie.
So anybody who's listening, if you're new to the show and you haven't listened to us before, or seen All Even podcast, Barry Grant Jr. in here, check him out. He'll be on. You know what? Barry's going to be on pregame for Philly.
Yeah,
We're just calling
pregame
it right
Philly.
now.
Yeah, we're calling it. Definitely.
Also, that's the most I've ever been paid for my looks, Barry. So thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay.
Look
At Adam. Look at this egotistical bastard. Ad's like, really only $2?
No.
Ad's getting fucking $100 bills thrown at him. Well, the ogres of the Can Fan, just let us have our $2, bro.
No, the average ticket price for when he was on tour was probably well more than that. And you can't tell me that people weren't coming to the show just for his vocal cords or the music.
He does have a
They
point.
wanted him in his tight jeans.
I don't know. You look at me back then. I was not really. I was shagged up. Baby.
I prefer a nice svelte 39-year-old AJ.
Mustache has to come back, though. I like AJ with
mustache, mullet, and that body, that freaking Brad Pitt in Fight Club body of his, with some extra muscle. AJ.
And I just joined a gym, so now I'm going to the change room. And I'm just walking out with my shirt off.
All you do is ask. You just walk around asking people what they bench all day.
Yeah.
You're like, have you been here for 8 hours asking people how much they bench press? Yeah, can you, sir? We are closing.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
I haven't even started yet.
I blame Boots for bringing up the comment, and I blame Barry for saying it. Look at what we just did to everybody.
If you want to get us off track, just comment on our looks, throw us a super chat, and you got us, kid. You got us.
What do we got next?
Or do we have any comments there we want to hit?
Yeah,
up?
Boots, what do you think about the Cowboys at 6 there in the power rankings? Did we lose Boots?
No, Boots is still there.
I'm here. Who's next on the rankings?
No. What did you think? What did you think about the Cowboys being at 6? Do you find that fair?
I do. I think the Niners. They've they're not the same team that they were 3-4 weeks ago. They've definitely gone downhill since then. But everyone else, I agree. I think after this Sunday and after we beat the Eagles, because we will beat the Eagles, they're still not going to put us first. I think they'll put us to like 3, maybe 2 if we're lucky, even after we beat who they call the best team out there. But I mean, that's just how it is. The rankings are based on who we've played so far, and there's still a lot of football left. And like you said, I mean, people are starting to pull away. And I think after about maybe 3 or 4 more weeks, we'll see a clear power ranking, and we're not going to argue with it.
Yep.
It's going to be what it's going to be by then.
Couldn't agree more.
Any chat comments, or shall we just roll?
Math says, "What's the delivery time to Texas? ? By this Sunday? ?
For the Philly suck
for the
shirt,
Philly suck shirt.
probably it wouldn't make it.
Sorry, my dude.
It's probably, I would say, it's
10
probably 5 to 10 business days.
Yeah.
Would be my best guess.
say 10 just to be
On the safe side. But it could be there for the game when the Eagles travel down to the Cowboys in December.
Yeah, so just for context, we're talking about that Philly suck shirt that Ant's wearing right now.
Because they do, baby. Because they do.
You can go to cowboyscanfan.com/store and you can order your very own. Here, I'll show you right here. You can order your very own Philly suck shirt. Ooh, multicolors. But yeah, if you miss it if you miss it for this game, you get it for the next one. So,
my personal favorite is the God Hates Cowboys fans shirt. I think that's going to be the one that I get.
here's the fun fact. Once we start wearing the shirts on the show, people will start requesting them.
Yep.
So, one other, you asked for any other comments. Barry Grant Jr., the All Even Podcast, says, Ninets played their Super Bowl against us. They might not even make the playoffs. Their schedule is rough.
Playoffs. Man, it's crazy. They're not even in first place now in their division. The Seahawks are. And that bodes well for the Can Fan crew if we don't end up stealing the division from the Philly Eagles. We possibly could catch a playoff game in Seattle. Just saying.
Dude.
That could happen. That's a
wild card?
You're not
wild card round. I don't want that.
I don't want
I
it.
want to win the division.
For that one.
Oh yeah, Boots. That's what I mean. I didn't want you when you were like, I don't think I'm going to another game. Boots, if it's happening in Seattle, you're flying up. You're bunking with us, and you're coming up here, buds.
Hey,
100%.
Right.
Boots. Nice. If we have to fake a kidnapping, we will do what we need to do, my man. Okay.
It's like, oh my God, he was perfectly gone for Sunday and returned completely fine the next day.
If any local law enforcement's out there, I will pay you like $500 to come to my house and just like arrest me, put me in the car, and then release me like on the Monday after the game.
We have to rough you up a bit for it to seem real.
Yeah. It's just a legal process. We have to take him in for 36 hours.
And then it'll be like a big mistake, and you'll
Yeah.
apologize, and it's like, hey, it's okay, it's cool.
Crack him if you want to kidnap Boots.
Crack him if you want to kidnap Boots, definitely.
All right, guys, let's get into this game preview, okay? The Cowboys-Eagles game preview, biggest game of the season in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it is right now. Right now, they're ahead of us by 2 games. We all wanted them to lose to the Dolphins a couple weeks ago, but no, we have to take our destiny in our own hands. Cowboys, if they want any chance of winning the division, I'd almost say they have to win both of these games against the Eagles, and that's this Sunday. They got to beat these fucks.
And this is the best team. I'm going to argue this is the best team in the NFL right now, the Eagles.
They are.
Most consistent and most threatening to the Cowboys' route to the Super Bowl. Here's their record. Cowboys, of course, 5-2. Eagles, 7-1. Not really any patterns emerging for the Eagles. That's how we kind of like to do things here. I do not want to see the pattern repeat for the boys. Okay,
We have to break out of the pattern.
We got to break out of the pattern this week.
Unless it's mirrored now. Unless our pattern now is mirrored.
Unless we're mirroring. Okay, then we go 4 wins in a row. Yeah, I'll do that.
But you were when you were talking about the patterns, I was like, oh, I would be interesting to see how the pattern lines up. To you were like 12-5, but at what games are we losing?
If
off
this
of that list?
if it mirrors right now, the Cowboys finish 12-5. So then if we go win, loss, win, we finish 12-5.
I know, but what I was getting at last time and we didn't do it was let's bring up the schedule. Where are those losses on that pattern? That on Alex's pattern?
Oh, I see what you mean. Like if you took this and you took it and you put it over top of the schedule. I see what you're saying.
Like so then Alex's pattern.
You mean last year?
No, right now you would have taken this pattern, copy it, and then put it over top of our next 8 games.
I know it. You can see it right here. You said it right, Ant. So it'd be double. It'd be 10.
No, but what would the loss? Who would the loss be against?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we don't have to do it now, but
Okay.
that's
No.
what,
Fun exercise. And
Fun
if
exercise,
we
yeah.
lose, well, I guess the pattern's still going.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Win or lose.
doesn't matter.
Hey, win or lose, we have a pattern to look at next week.
Cowboys are 5-2. Eagles are 7-1. Scoring leaders so far. Passing yards. Dakota Prescott versus Jalen Hurts. Guys, Boots, what do you think between Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts? What stands out between these guys' stats?
Well, obviously, Jalen Hurts throws the ball a little bit more. He's got a lot more yardage, and they definitely got more touchdowns, but he also got more interceptions. I do feel like Jalen Hurts isn't going to be 100% because I think he had like a bone bruise after the last game. So I think Dak Prescott will win this matchup, and then the Eagles are just going to be crying and saying, "Oh, our quarterback was hurt. That's the only reason you guys won," and blah blah blah. But we will win that. Now, if I wanted to go back, if I can, we had that last graphic with the schedule.
Yep.
I want to touch on the common opponents that we had when the Cowboys played the Jets. I mean, we
I
beat
like
them
that,
30-10. The Eagles lost to them 20-14. When we played the Patriots, Cowboys beat them 38-3. When the Eagles played them, they beat them 25-20, only a 5-point difference. And then obviously we just beat the Rams 43-20. And when they beat the Rams, they only beat them 23-14. So that's kind of like when I look at these kind of things, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the common ground, common opponents. And so when I see that, I feel really good about Sunday, boys.
Yeah.
The only, I would say the first 2 weeks are just a little sketchy. I'm not I still would take that in, but like the first 2 weeks are just a little sketchy now with that shorter preseason and without starters really touching the field until week 1.
But then the Rams, though, you still got the Rams. We played them week 8. They played them week 5. That's your teams.
No, it's all consistent. Like there's no, like every team has the same process, so it's not really like, oh, but only the Cowboys did that, right? So. I don't see Dak play any preseason games either. So yeah,
we're all on the same page.
Yeah,
look at their struggle versus Washington. Both games against Washington.
Yeah, Washington always plays them well. I felt like the card game for us, week 3, 28-16, felt like it was a lot more. I felt like we lost 100-1. When I see 28-16, I'm like, oh, it wasn't as bad as a beatdown as I remember, but it was a terrible loss for us. That's just what I'm taking from that. I keep forgetting that we got our asses handed to us by them.
Right. I see Robert Slavin in the chat talking about the Niners going to get hot right after the bye, and he feels sorry for the teams ahead of them. But I don't know. I think the Niners, they got the Jaguars coming up after the bye, and they ain't no slouch. So
6-2
see how
Jaguars.
that goes.
5th overall on the power rankings. So rushing yards, Tony Pollard, who's kind of been a letdown a little bit for me, guys. I'm gonna lead out with that. But AJ, out of Tony Pollard and Swift here, what are your takeaway?
I still think like letdown. I guess Pollard was playing a different position, different kind of style or position, or I mean, he's obviously running his same style, but I don't want to compare what he was doing kind of as a 1B or a 2 RB. I'm still happy with what he's doing. He's running hard. He's definitely proven to me that he can be a bit of a bruiser if he needs to be. You look at his running, he doesn't really get tackles for losses, but he also just sometimes only gets 3 yards. And so was I expecting more of a 5-yard average? Absolutely. That would have put him more so in the top running backs of the league if he would have been doing that. But he's definitely just kind of playing average, and he's not getting the touchdowns that Zeke would have got.
He hasn't had those plays where we've grown accustomed to Tony Pollard, and I'm not saying that this can't happen going forward, but there's those plays where he just burst out, right? He gets past those linebackers, and now he's one-on-one with the safeties or even a cornerback, and TP20 against those guys, he's going to mess them up. So I still think the best for Tony for TP20 is coming up this season. Yep. So CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, what's your takeaway from these guys?
Well, I mean, it's a little concerning that CeeDee Lamb hasn't gotten the amount of receptions as AJ Brown, and when we look at his last game, and Alex brought it up, and until he brought it up, I wasn't even thinking about the amount of targets that CeeDee Lamb was getting. But we have to be throwing to CeeDee Lamb a minimum 10 times a game, and let him get out there and let him start to get active with that ball. We saw what he did against the Rams. He can do that against better teams. So you look at AJ Brown, you look at CeeDee Lamb. AJ Brown has more receptions, he has more yards, and he has more touchdowns. So he's clearly their go-to receiver. And CeeDee's our clear go-to receiver. It's just CeeDee Lamb's not getting the chances that AJ Brown's been getting.
You give him 14 more receptions, and his stats are going to be very close to that.
Very close, yeah, exactly, with probably a better percentage too.
Well, he has. So CeeDee Lamb right now with the top 10 wide receivers in the NFL, CeeDee Lamb has an 82% catch rate, where AJ Brown flirts with, I think it was the high 60s. So CeeDee Lamb right now has the highest catch rate percentage by any wide receiver. That's actually a number 1. That means throw the fucking ball to the guy a little bit more.
The only thing that concerned me about CeeDee Lamb, because I was really excited about,
you think he has a cocaine addiction because he snorts his finger?
No, if you watch Sounds of the Sideline, there was twice where CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks were talking about CeeDee Lamb not running his route.
Yeah, but you know why?
Why?
Well, the one time he was watching Brandon Cooks because he knew it was going to Cooks.
Yeah, I know.
So he wants to see Brandon Cooks score.
I know. So that was I'll give him a pass, but then the other one, he's like, I didn't run my route, and that's on his touchdown. So he didn't run his route. You saw the two there. It's like, oh, so is CeeDee Lamb, is he just not clinching on those routes? And
I like his new hairdo.
Love his new hairdo.
Yeah, I like that that's a change. It got him. It cleaned him up. He's looking like he means business.
Update his photo. This is CeeDee Lamb's trajectory for the season based off of these stats. You tell me if you like him or not. If he ended up with these 112 receptions, 1,537 yards, and 7 touchdowns.
No, it's not enough.
Touchdowns though, a little weak, but
little weak on touchdowns. But I think
we're going to see 10. I think we're going to see 10 by the end of the season.
No, catches and yards. I love that. I know. Boots. What do you think if he hits those numbers?
112 receptions, 1,500 receiving yards.
I think they're going to go higher. I think we didn't really utilize them in the first couple of games, but I see it closer to 1,700 yards if we keep you. I mean, if he hits 10, 12 targets a game, there's no way he's not. I mean, if he's going to average anywhere between 100 to 130 yards per game, he will get there.
And he's got that 82% catch. So if he's getting 10 to 12 targets, it means he's catching the ball
10 fucking times.
Eight, 9, 10
12,
times.
if he gets 12.
8 to 12 times. I mean, that's
The math is mathing, guys.
That's increasing
The
his
math is
receptions.
mathing.
Exactly.
Math is mathin'. I don't want to say we're Elon Musk's in here, but we're Elon Musk's.
But I do want to point out, because we love our boys. We're going to talk about our boys, but AJ Brown is a force to be reckoned with.
He's a dog. He's a dog. He's a big physical wide receiver that we haven't faced a guy like that yet.
And
Science.
And he is on our matchup of the week versus Deron Bland. But first, let's look at some fun facts here, guys. Okay. The document is a little changed. I know we're starting out the same, but it's gonna open up to more free flowing. And if you're like, what document? I'm listening in my car and I'm driving. I don't see a
I'm
document.
commuting to work. Where's the document?
Don't be looking around. Stay driving safely. We're looking at a screen right now, and if you want to see the doc, you'll have to
Pull over.
come to youtube.com/@CowboysCanFan every Wednesday and Sunday for the game. We live stream. Join us. But we'll do our best to work with you, audio listeners. But look at that, guys. Fun fact number 1. The Cowboys, 49.7 chance of winning. The Eagles, 49.9. Where's the missing points per point?
Yeah.
4%?
Where did it go? Where did it go? It's a tie.
It's essentially...
It's a tie.
Yeah.
It's that extra percent goes to a tie. And this kind of goes with the betting right now. The betting open with the Cowboys is 3-point underdogs. If you're a 3-point underdog at someone else's arena, like at the link, it's a 50-50 game.
Oh, I see.
So if you're an away team and you're favored, you're a huge favorite. If you're an away team and you're a -3, it's pretty fucking even.
Right.
Is he jumping segments here? He's
Crack him if you got him.
He's starting to talk about betting.
Hey, I'm
when
giving
we're
you guys a
talking
little
about
insight.
fun
I'm
facts.
giving you guys a little insight.
Save it for the betting section, bro.
Sometimes in movies, you drop a little nugget.
Oh, you
know?
dropped a little nugget.
and
It's
then-
called foreshadowing.
And then
Read a
people
book.
are like,
Dumbio.
what was he talking about with that betting? And then we move on. We move on. We move on.
We keep rolling.
We move on.
Yeah, this is fun.
Next thing that I like to look at here is just these overall stats. And this is from PFF, I believe. But
He's a PFF boy.
Cowboys overall, just as rankings, straight up rankings. Overall ranking 5th out of 32 teams. Offensive 11th, which I think has seen an improvement. Defense 5th, has been hovering around that top 5. We're happy with that. Special teams is now tied for 3rd. They went from tied from 2nd, then they think they dropped down to out of the top 5. Now they're back to the top 5. Special teams has been a really, really big factor for the Cowboys. I cannot stress enough how minimal of a fucking time on field, but huge impact special teams has on a football game.
It's massive. That's why I don't want to see kickoffs go away, because it's such a critical part of the game. If you plan for your kickoff
electric.
team to be the best in the NFL, it's going to win you a football game at some point.
And
I mean, is there any play more exciting than a punt return for a touchdown or a kick return for a touchdown?
Hell no.
fuck.
Hell no, because we got to do screenshots.
Or a block punt, like those.
Yeah,
block
they're the
punt,
best.
block kick.
Block punt, yeah, exactly. And we've had a lot of those. So, I mean, I don't want to see anything change on our special teams. I'm very happy with
Fossil, man. He's doing his thing.
that. He is, Vasectomy Jones. Over on the Eagles side, 7th overall ranked, 6th overall ranked offense, tied for 9th overall defense, which seems a little generous, but hey, it's consistent enough, and 7th special teams. So just looking at those numbers, the Cowboys do edge out the Eagles, but that doesn't really matter, does it?
No, but to me, I've watched every single Eagles game, or at least quarters of it. Like
Right,
before I
right.
come over here, or I'll
When
watch
you
the
can.
highlights when I can. When I watch the Eagles, because watching them lose is like, it's almost as good as the Cowboys winning. I'll be that guy. And they haven't looked good to me. The only time they looked good to me was against the Dolphins. That's the only game I've watched of the Eagles that they seem to be half decent. I 100% believe that the Cowboys can beat this team twice. Dak Prescott has proven it. He is the Eagle killer. And I'm excited for this game because I do think the Dallas Cowboys are better than the 7-1 Philadelphia Eagles. Pencil it in. Put that on a reel. Put that on YouTube Shorts. Put that shit on TikTok. Fuck you, Philly. We're coming for you, son.
So
Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. Write it down. Take a picture. Send it to him. You heard me.
So you're saying you think that they can beat them twice in regular season, or just we win this weekend, we lose when they come home, and then we win in the playoffs? Or
Playoffs. We're not seeing these bums in the playoffs. They're not even going to make it past the first round. We're winning the division. They ain't even making it into the fight.
Cook, baby.
They try to meet us at the NFC Championship, you little punks.
You see that, Boots?
I just love Ant going into that reverend mode where he just starts the voice starts elevating. You can see the emotion in his face.
I
feel like this is how it would be if we're at church or something.
I get whiny voices. Tables call it. She says my voice gets all high pitchy, but that's how I feel.
and Gus says fun facts. Fan base is Cowboys 100%, Eagles 0%.
Love it.
Seems legit.
And just looking at a quick breakdown of their kind of, I guess, ranking and play stats here, it's all very, very similar, except for the running game on the Cowboys has been a little underwhelming. That's basically the only kind of outlier when we look at their rankings together here.
Very even matchup.
Very even matchup, as even as we're probably ever going to see these two teams. And
everybody's tuning into this game. This is the whatever they called the Madden 425 Eastern skill competition watch party. Whatever ad was trying to read when they were talking about. That's true. It is. It's going to be the most watched game of the weekend. More so than the Monday nighter. More so than the Sunday nighter. This is the must watch game of the week.
And you know when they're programming, they're like, "Ooh, Cowboys Eagles." It's like we have Cowboys at too many primetime games right now. We can't make this one.
This should have been. This should have been a Sunday night.
It should have been Monday night game
or Monday night.
They should have flexed it.
Definitely
in the later in the season.
Later in the season. Later in the season, it's December games or the last 3 weeks of the season. They'll flex games. If we were battling for division, this would be flexed to Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football. Whoever gets the choice.
I don't think any surprises here on the injury report for the Cowboys.
Oh, Diggs is out?
Yeah.
But too soon, bro.
Looking past all of those IRs, we got Tyron Smith, tackle with a head injury, Idoga with a leg injury, another tackle, and then Gallup with just an other. Maybe it's his third tripod leg. But I think everyone here has potential to be on track for the game, so
it looks like Smith might even be playing if he's just questionable right now.
No, they're gonna have him suited up, and then they're just gonna constantly go back to shots of him on the sideline.
Okay, get another shot of Smith.
Okay, Smith's over there.
And for the Eagles, there's
just a bunch of bums.
Calcaterra, tight end.
No, Jalen Carter is not a bum.
They don't have Carter's not Carter. Oh, sorry, I didn't see him on the bottom.
I had to add him because he wasn't actually on this list, but then I saw that he was injured, so I just wanted to bring him on to this list. It's from another list. But is Carter? He's questionable.
He'll play. He'll play. Jalen Carter's 100% playing.
Hey, but I'll take him playing at only 75%.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
because Jalen Carter at 75% is still.
I don't know. That's supposed to be like a lower back injury that he came out of the game last Sunday. And those lower back injuries, they're not like, most of the time, if they're questionable, they don't play. They make him wait a week or two.
Oh, really?
I hear you. You're saying, I hear you. You're saying if he plays, target his back. Okay, Boots, I like it.
Well,
I like it.
It's even him coming in and getting jammed. That can put stress on that lower back, and he might not be able to go a full game. Knock on wood, we don't ever want to see anyone out for a season, but if they're out for a game against the Cowboys.
Yeah. I don't want any mulligans, though.
I don't want mulligans. Every single play, he's getting jammed up. So, I mean, I just don't see him playing this Sunday.
Really? So you're going to firm Boots says no play, no bueno on Jalen Carter.
Eagles are not going to just come out and say, oh, he's hurt, he's not going to play. They're going to make you wonder. They're going to say questionable all the way through Friday. And then Friday, they're going to say it's a game time decision. And he's going to suit up. He's going to go out there and stretch it out. And then they're going to say an hour before the game, Jalen Carter has been ruled out.
I'm going to have a fun Boots bet with you, Boots. I'm going to say he plays. If he plays, you have to take a shot of tequila, which we know you're going to be doing anyways. And if he doesn't, and if he doesn't play, I have to take a shot of Screech.
So Boots, you can't take a shot of Azul or any of the other ones. You got to go.
You have to go buy
you got to go. You got
bottom shelf. What's the shitty tequila that we drink? Jose Cuervo.
Yeah, you got to go Walmart fucking special $19.99 bottle of tequila and take a shot of it.
I mean, why just one? Make it a double.
There it is. Okay, I'm not double discreet. Yeah, I'm in because I think he's playing. So yeah, I'm in. Handshake. Let's do it, baby. Let's go.
Boot shake.
Yeah, boot shake.
A boot shake.
All right, let's get into our quarterback battle because I think the quarterback battle here tells a lot. We can spider web our conversation from these stats here. The only thing I want to call out specifically here is the big time throws and the turnover worthy plays percentages here. And
You're big.
yeah, and essentially what those mean is like a big time throw would be, well, a throw that's a big time play.
Time out. You missed the most important quarterback stat, how much he squats. Why don't I see how much Jalen Hurts squats on here?
Because PFF hasn't updated that this week yet, okay?
Well, Collinsworth
Thursdays.
Collinsworth will be fucking tweeting it. He squats 600 pounds.
Oh, that should be our thing. Every time you hear how much Jalen Hurts squats, we have to take a shot of something.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I think we have enough booze.
If it's taking a shot of something, it's Screech.
Yeah, it is. Crack him if you got him.
If you got him.
But the turnover-worthy plays, I think, is really great because Prescott's under 2%.
Yeah, it's nice.
This doesn't mean that the ball gets turned over. It means that it was erroneously thrown where there was a play that could have been made on it.
Yeah.
Okay? When we look at Hurts, it's 3.27. Now, you say, Alex, 3%? Come on, dude.
No big deal, dog. Why are you stressing me?
If you gave me a ham sandwich that was 3% shit, I'd eat it, okay? And I'd say, yeah. Well, you probably do anyways, because there's a lot of rat shit on the food that we buy. But that's a huge difference.
Canada, am I right?
It's a huge difference from 1.87 to 3.27. It's nearly double the amount of throws. This doesn't tell the full story of how Hurts plays football because I did deep dive into his stats while I was looking at this.
He was hurting.
But it does show you that he is willing to make more risky plays, and we need to be able to capitalize on it when it happens. I'm not saying every time, once.
A little Deron Bland, break the record or tie the record.
Yes, dog.
That's another thing. Deron Bland, he's one pick six away from tying breaking the record for most pick sixes in a season.
Better stop trying him.
Better stop trying him.
Yeah, guys, this isn't the same Jalen Hurts as we saw last season. This Jalen Hurts, 2023 Jalen Hurts is not nearly as good as 2022 Jalen Hurts. Just be ready for that.
I don't think Jalen Hurts plays against the Cowboys very well. I don't think he plays against Dan Quinn's defense very well. I like our defense against Jalen Hurts. I really do.
And as long as Jalen Hurts doesn't like our defense,
we're good.
Just some real quick look at the comparisons here for Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts. Dak Prescott, 221 attempts, 23rd right now, 1,600 yards and some change. He's 18th there. Tied for 13th with 10 touchdowns and tied for 15th with 5 ints. Looking at Jalen's big numbers, 282 attempts. He's tied for 6th there. 2,100 and some change yards, tied for 7th. 13 touchdowns, tied for 6th. And interceptions, 8, tied for 2nd. So he will throw the ball into risky positions. And that's something to keep an eye on.
Again, the funny thing is if Dak Prescott had 8 interceptions right now, that's the only thing everyone would be ever bringing up.
You wouldn't, and besides the game against San Fran, Dak has 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. Like one bad game, he's had one bad interception.
This is what I'm saying to you, Ant. When Dak Prescott goes up against good teams, he crumbles.
I couldn't hear what you're saying because you're hitting the table.
Aggressively.
Yeah, you got mad. I'm sorry. You're right.
Oh, I was channeling all those fucking analysts.
You were Sherman me.
That was my Keyshawn.
You were Keyshawn me. Actually, that was a pretty good Keyshawn impression.
Thank you.
Now that you're saying that's who you're going for.
Is there crackem score on there? Is there a crackem if you got it stat?
Crack him if you got him. What a setup. I was looking. I was like, is there? Is there one?
Where's the crackem? Who's cracking who?
The Crackem over under is always 12 on the show.
On the live streams, it's like 24.
Oh, it's 24.
I'll
That's
take
like
the over on that, guys.
yeah, it's always the over.
24 and a half on the show.
I think last week was the first time we didn't hit the over.
The first time in history that we didn't hit the
But
over.
we hit.
Are we counting
Screech
Screech
shots?
as a shot?
AJ and I each did 4 shots of Screech.
So that puts us over 24. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm not saying you bitched out.
Well, you just did.
Well, I was gonna. I'm sorry.
You just.
It was
you
early.
Just, you just put.
It was the 10 a.m. game. I'm
Boots.
sorry.
Hey, Boots. Earmuffs. Earmuffs.
No, I like the matchup, but Dak Prescott owns the Eagles. Jalen Hurts does not own the Cowboys. He never has. And the only time they've beat us in the Jalen Hurts era has been with backup quarterbacks. So with our backup quarterbacks in, I like our chances.
So we were talking about what's our matchup of the week, and obviously quarterbacks every week to week, we're always going to have this kind of breakdown looking at the quarterbacks because I think it tells us a lot and it keeps us up to date on how our season's flowing, okay? How do I base my analysis off of? It's where you're ranked, and I just keep track of that, and that's all I care about, okay? But on our matchup of the week, it's...
Just on the quarterback thing, it's nice to look at the stats. I just want to know quickly from the three of you, what do you think Dak needs to do going into this game then to play like he did against the Rams? Because if we look at Dak when he goes up against some teams like the Eagles, more elite teams, he seems to kind of crumble under the pressure. We've seen it happen in the playoffs. What do you think we're going to see Dak from last week? You started this show off on how inconsistent you hate how Dak's been. So from your eyeball test, like what do you want to see Dak do this game?
So I just don't take offense to this. I hate that question.
Okay.
When it's asked, like, what do you think the player needs to do? It's like, well, they need to play the best ever that they've played and just continue to do that. It's like, I don't know specifically what he needs to do, but I know that because I don't know what the issue was, right? So I don't know. I don't know that there's something that Dak specifically needs to do. Perhaps it's just like I would just say repeat what they did versus the Rams. If he can do that, 4 touchdowns, almost, was it over 300 yards?
303.
Yeah, over 300 yards. But that's just such a. I guess I hate it because I never have a good answer.
Well, let's ask Boots. Boots, I feel like you'll have an answer. And we got to listen to AJ's attempt. Being the first person to try to answer, it's never good. Boots,
I just never have a good answer.
What do you think Dak has to do to repeat his success against the Eagles that he had against the Rams and the Chargers and the bye week?
Well, we discussed it earlier. Dak has to use his feet. I don't know if you guys follow. Oh, actually, I know you do follow. I don't know if you saw Law Nation.
Yep.
He did a great
friend of the show
of analyzing a lot of plays from Sunday's game against the Rams, and he analyzed a couple of run plays where Dak handed the ball over to Pollard, and Pollard, would go through the tackles and they'd crash and they'd bring him down. But he pointed out how a lot of those times he would do like a boot out route and he would fake it and everyone just kind of forgot about Dak. And if Dak would have just held on to the ball, he would have had clear sign. There was another defender for 10 yards. And if he would have held on to the ball, that would have been an automatic touchdown. So I'm hoping the Eagles aren't watching us discuss this, but if he were to hold on to those, keep those. Oh yeah. A lot of you probably have more Eagle haters watching the show than
they're writing emails right now to Eagles front office. This is what you got to do. This is what you got to do.
Yeah, but I want him to hold on to the ball, especially when we're in that goal line stance. Fake handoff and just hold on to it. And if no one's open, just run with it and get those 10, 15 yards. And if we're in the goal line, get that touchdown.
It's funny that you say that. I expected them to do that against the Niners, because they had flirted with it in the prior games up to the Niners. They would do that RPO, and Dak would, like you said, Dak would always give the ball off, and yet there was no one near him. So I was telling people, I was like, Dak's scoring a touchdown against the Niners. They're going to finally bring it out. They're going to do it against the Niners. They finally pulled it off against the Chargers. But you're right. If Dak can control the ball and be like the Dak Prescott before he had the ankle break, you know what he was like, Boots. Within 5 yards, your chances of Dak scoring the touchdown went way up. For me, though, the biggest thing Dak has to do is win the turnover battle against Jalen Hurts. Don't throw it has been so far this season. Don't throw a stupid interception. That's all I want to see from Dak.
Hey,
no dumb interceptions.
If you remove those three, and I know you can say this maybe for a couple QBs, but I don't give a fuck, okay? If you remove those 3 interceptions that Dak threw against the 49ers when they were just fucking drowning.
They were already losing.
They were drowning. He's only got 2.
I know, it's awesome.
So let's just take away 2 of those because he might have thrown 1. 3 interceptions. That's a fucking much more improved than what we were seeing last season, right?
Oh, and this is what I kept telling people. Everyone that said that Dak Prescott is a turnover machine, he isn't. He never has been. Last year was a very weird season for his interceptions. Yep. He's never been that guy that he's always taken care of the ball. He has since he got into the league. And I had all the faith that he'd get back. And take care of the ball. And if he takes care of the ball this Sunday, we have a very good chance.
And not only does he take care of the football, he takes care of his balls with Manscaped. Manscaped. Shave your balls like Dak Prescott.
That would have been a good sponsor.
Manscaped, hit us up. Ad, what does Dak have to do? You asked the question. Let's hear your answer.
Yeah,
I know, and next time don't ask me.
I know.
Those were great
I thought
answers.
AJ was gonna sucker punch you, to be honest.
You know what? I hate this question.
I thought he was throwing bows at you.
Yeah. Next time you can say, let me pass. Let me hear what everyone else. I mean, exactly what Boots is. I want to see him be mobile. I think last week we saw Dak control that ball, and when he didn't have that throw, he was a mobile quarterback. I felt safe with Dak this last game. But yeah, don't let the pressure get to you when that line's coming. Don't make those throws that are just not there. Take the sack or get up a yard and slide. That's all I want. I just want him to control that ball movement and to fucking let those
Ball or
feet-
bowel?
Ball and the bowel movement.
I mean,
Well,
if
he
you got to
obviously-
shit.
Hey, Dak, if you're gonna shit,
You gotta shit.
if you're gonna shit big. I don't care.
Just get it.
And get
Just
those
get it.
floppy feet
Yeah.
floppy feet going.
Yeah, my take was going to be at like mobility. I think this is like the most mobile we've seen Dak all like the last 2 years almost.
I'm not gonna change my answer.
Yeah,
okay.
you won't.
I'm gonna.
I hate this answer. That's my answer.
No, I hate this question. Here's my answer. You should throw 4 touchdowns.
I'm gonna keep my answer.
I don't hate. It wasn't a bad answer.
He needs to outplay. And you know what? I think this is a team, honestly, that he could repeat 4 touchdowns again.
I hope he does.
Alex actually was pretty accurate. If you look at Dak's stats, when we talk about him being a bad quarterback, or people are saying he's a bad quarterback or he's not the guy, his stats prove that wrong.
He's been a top 10 quarterback his whole career. Yeah.
So yeah, Dak, just make sure you show up when you need to, and don't necessarily call out of that, check out of that play. And I do feel like with Mike McCarthy's system saying he's putting more trust in Dak, like was there years where it's like, Dak, you can't, like, you're doing this play no matter what, and he's giving him a bit more options to call out of it. Are we going to see more control from Dak because of the Mike McCarthy play calling system?
I got a question for you guys about Dak here. He only has 3 throwaways compared to Hurts, who has 18 throwaways.
Wow.
Jesus.
What do you think? Does that mean that he? But here's the other thing. He's not like overly sacked. Yes, he has 17 sacks, a 21.3 sack to pressure ratio. What is that bad? Should he throw the ball away?
Well,
more,
you can see he gets sacked more than Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts has the 15.8. So possibly.
But there have been times where I've been like screaming, throw the ball away. And I think Dak does have that problem where he's like,
he's always trying to fight. He's trying to make that play.
and I don't mind it, because when it works out, it works out. But
I love
sometimes
that gunslinger in him.
Yeah.
You're like, throw it away, and then he throws it first down. You're like, just like that.
Yeah, just like that, Dad. Exactly like I called it. Yeah, exactly.
like
So I was just wondering if you guys think like maybe.
That's interesting though, to see that Hurts has 18 throwaways and Dak has 3.
Well, I think it's just
He's
incredible.
hurt. He's not running the ball like he used to, so he just throws it away so he doesn't get sacked.
But that
Hurts. You're saying Hurts.
hurts. Yes, that's the
Hurts
smart
is hurt,
thing.
yeah.
I'm just it's a very surprisingly low number of throwaways
It is.
after 7 games.
It's one every 2 games.
Yeah.
2.2 games.
So I don't know. Well, maybe I need to look into that more, or
Now every time he has a throwaway, I'm going to do this and do this to AJ.
yeah, I know. I'm gonna be like, hey,
Hey, he's up in his stat. there.
and I'm gonna be tallying throwaways for the rest.
He's
of
just
the
like,
season now.
okay. I'm like,
Take it.
I was like, oh, you're writing down a soundbite.
I'm
that you
gonna
wanna
be
do?
hitting you.
He's like, there.
He did it. Throwaway.
Take it.
Throw it away.
Adam's doing something, and I make it. Mark it.
Take it. Take the fucking thing down.
Matt says, as a good luck charm, I'm watching this week's game, buck naked boys.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
We do it in
Matt,
our minds.
You do.
AJ's usually naked from the waist down. Okay. AJ.
Well, boys, we got our matchup of the week. We're changing things up from this point on, okay? And I think this is going to bode better for our conversation's sake. Our matchup of the week. Oddly enough, this would have been
A different
Mr.
player.
Mr. T. Diggs.
Yeah, it would have been a different player.
And we would have been equally as excited, because if I told you, the matchup of the week in week 9 versus the Eagles at the beginning, if I said this at the beginning of the season, if the week 9 matchup with the Eagles and Cowboys is going to be Bland versus Brown, you'd be like, Get GTFO, Alex. Get out of my face right now. But, of course, we got that terrible no-good injury to Diggs, with Bland having to step up into a role that he really wasn't playing at all.
No, he's a slot guy.
Yeah, and he's been fairly dominant. In fact, extremely impressive. But here we are, Deron Bland versus A.J. Brown. I got some stats up on the screen. I don't know if anything stands out to any of you, but I think we're going to see a really, really interesting matchup between these two guys.
So the one thing that makes me nervous is the Cowboys haven't played a guy as physical as A.J. Brown.
Sure.
He's a big dude. He's like, I'm going to put him in the same kind of place as a Julio Jones in his prime.
Anquan Bolden?
He's way faster than Anquan Bolden. He's better than he's better than Anquan Bolden. A D-Hop, he's just a big physical guy that we haven't played. There's not a single receiver that we've went against. And the thing that scares me is they have other guys now. They have Devontae Smith and Julio Jones who are able to match up well against their 2 and 3s. If Deron Bland goes against A.J. Brown, it's going to be the first time we see him against a dude that could probably beat him up physically. That's nothing against Deron Bland. A.J. Brown's going to beat up 99.5% of the population on a football field. But this is Deron Bland's actually first test against a true number one, a true dominant force at the wide receiver position.
Yeah, this is where we really miss Trayvon Diggs, right?
So what do you think, Boots, in terms of this matchup? Like, what are you seeing from this?
I'm actually I hope we don't see it. I really hope that you put like Gilmore with a little bit of Donovan Wilson help, like safety help, and put our second best cornerback on their best receiver, and then put our number one cornerback, which I believe is Deron Bland, on Devonta Smith, because Devonta Smith, he's younger, he's faster, and I think Deron Bland is better matched up one-on-one against him than to go up against an A.J. Brown, because then you're going to have Gilly on Devonta Smith, and he's just going to get burned and beat all day long. So I think the solution would be to switch it the other way around. And the only thing that I see how A.J. Brown, he has 5 touchdowns, and we don't see Deron Bland's touchdowns over here. He's got 3.
Facts.
You know,
he has more Devontae. He has the same
amount
as Smith.
Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you're right. Actually, when I looked at the lineup matchup, they were having Gilmore square off against Brown. Who knows how that's actually going to play out during the game?
The issue with our cornerbacks is they're predominantly play sides. Deron Bland's on the right. Stephon Gilmore will be on the left. So you're going to see times no matter what. But like Boots said, I do like his idea of bracketing A.J. Brown with safety and Gilmore, and then letting Deron Bland work up Devontae Smith. That's a great play, but you don't see the Cowboys have their cornerbacks track receivers recently. So there'll be times where you're going to get Deron Bland versus A.J. Brown.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yep.
I was going to say, do you see maybe because Marcus Bell's is that speed, and he's kind of been playing between linebacker and secondary. Do you see him possibly being that bracket on top instead of Dono Dub? Is it going to be maybe someone like Bell and Gilly on someone like A.J. Brown?
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, I agree.
And in short routes, possibly. You won't see Bell going past the 15, 20 yards. He'll be playing kind of the middle-ish. And then you'll have like Malik Hooker, Malik Hooker. Boots just said his name. Dono Dub. And then Jaron Kearse kind of help bracket.
Right. I mean, you said it, A.J. Brown's going to be that first big receiver, that kind of like an old Megatron type of receiver that they're saying. And so there's nobody on this team that can stop him one-on-one. You're going to have to beat him by committee. I mean, we can stop the speedsters like Cooper Kupp and things like that. Technically, I think we have what it have on the defense. We have what it takes to be able to stop them, but it's going to be by committee. It's not going to be one player one-on-one beating them.
Yeah.
I think the scary thing with the Eagles Cowboys is, like, if we look back to last week and we look at Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, and we were able to handle those 2 receivers, well, can handle A.J. Brown, can handle Smith, but now you have Julio Jones. So you throw a third wide receiver in there. Is that what's going to be our X factor, where we can't handle 3, one number one receiver and two fringe number one receivers.
Well, Julio Jones to me is, I don't know. I don't really look at his as a scary thing. The difference between Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp is they're not physical specimens like AJ Brown.
You have to pick it, and I would pick lockdown AJ Brown and let the other guys get a touchdown if that's going to happen. It's more of it's a less risk to be like, no, fuck it. We're going to shut down AJ Brown. You can throw to the other two guys and hope that they make a catch for you. We're going to rely on our defense to play. What really brings my attention to this matchup, which we may not actually see now that Boots puts the
Boots is like, hey, what do you guys do?
You'll see it. You'll see it. You'll definitely. You're going to see them matched up on each other.
We've got Deron Bland here with 22.6 passer rating allowed, which is just dog shit. You'd cut him. You'd cut him if the quarterback was throwing that. But then the complete opposite on AJ Brown's side, who has a 123.9 passer rating when he's targeted. So we've got
Something's got to break.
This is I'm excited to see that, even though it might not be an all game what's a buffet.
You're not gonna have Deron Bland matching up with him every play. It's gonna be here and there. It's gonna be every third or fourth or fifth play type thing.
I'm more excited to see this than I am Gilmore and Brown. Even though Gilmore really needs that bounce back. He started the season much stronger than he's been playing now. I don't think that he's been a negative player, but he's just been kind of routine.
Let's say this. So last year I went back and I looked at AJ Brown's stats against the Cowboys. He had over 100 yards in the one matchup. He had 6 catches for 100 yards. And then the first matchup, he had 67 yards and a touchdown, right? So it looked like we had maybe shut him down a little bit, but he was predominantly playing against Anthony Brown, right? You're going to take Stephon Gilmore and Deron Bland over Anthony Brown.
Yeah.
Any day of the week, right?
Well, do you take Trevon Diggs and Anthony Brown over Deron Bland and Stephon Gilmore?
No, because Deron Bland and Stephon Gilmore are both startable cornerbacks.
I know, yeah, exactly.
Anthony Brown isn't.
Right.
I would take if I had to choose between Anthony Brown and Trevon Diggs or Deron Bland and Stephon Gilmore, I'm taking Deron Bland and Stephon Gilmore every fucking time.
I also think that kind of what Alex was saying there with Gilly, like we're not saying his name the way that we were saying Anthony Brown. So it's like you're out there, you're doing your job. He's doing his job.
Every fucking game, Anthony Brown was getting a pass interference or getting burned for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, be like he stole something.
Exactly. So Gilmore had a game-winning interception 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
We were in person. AJ doesn't remember it, but we were in person.
Hey, I remember.
You remember?
I remember the video clip.
Actually, you were probably at that point.
I was.
You were probably more sober than I was at that point. We kind of are AJ. We were like this. He was up here going
And I
down,
was coming down,
and
yeah.
we just met in the middle.
But guess what? My brain was not. It was like all energy to just keeping body alive. No memories are being retained right now.
My favorite picture is me and
Guys,
AJ in the crowd, just
terrible
like
at
this.
Impressions. I'm terrible at impressions, but who am I? What happened? What happened?
What? No, you gotta get Laura like this. What happened?
Like
That is what I didn't even notice it until Boots pointed it out the next day, and I watched it like 7 times in a row after.
I had
That's
like
that floppy foot.
Yep.
I had people messaging me be like, was AJ wasted? Like, was AJ that wasted? I was like, oh yeah. That's probably
20, baby.
top 3 most wasted I've seen.
Hey, we tailgate. When you're with Boots, you don't know what's going to happen. Boots puts on a party.
I'm dipping my toe in the water. Now I know. Next time we go down, which it's going to happen again next year. The Cowboys are going to play either LA, one of the LA teams.
Yeah, West Coast, definitely.
And I will be, West Coast. And I will be more prepared. Just like you, Lima Rita, which I will see on Thanksgiving.
Oh, right.
No way.
You're going down, and I'm going to drink you, all of you, and I'm going to keep you in my body this time.
That's CanFan folklore right there.
That's the matchup I'm looking forward to this season.
Guys, I do have a little bit of some stats that I broke down here.
Okay, let's hear 'em.
AJ Brown versus Deron Bland. How do we beat this matchup? And let's just take Deron Bland out. Let's just say AJ Brown versus the secondary of the Dallas Cowboys. How are we going to beat them? Well, here's some really interesting things that I looked at whilst putting together this document, kind of the benefit of doing it. So Hurts to A.J. Brown works because Hurts has been evasive in the pocket. He has a 3.14 time to throw, okay? That doesn't seem like a long time, but he's the third-ranked quarterback when we compare quarterbacks who have thrown over 100 attempts, so basically the starters. He's third ranked behind Justin Fields at 3.55 seconds and Deshaun Watson at 3.16.
Call him by his real name, Massage Boy.
Massage Boy. The NFL average, I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers at you, but this is all going to make sense. The NFL average is 2.76. So he's got 12% more time that he's hanging onto the ball.
Which is a lifetime.
And I look at that and I'm like, okay, what is it that he's doing? Is he scrambling more, or is he having to scramble, or is he just getting time to sit in that pocket? Well, the O-line's not very good, so I don't think it's that. He's been pressured 120 times. The average is 95 times, so he's pressured 21% more than the average NFL quarterback. So it's not that he's getting really good protection. It's that his mobility behind the line is really great. And the final thing here is his pressure to sack ratio, like we talked about earlier, is 15.8%. The average in the NFL is 18.9%. Dak's quite a bit higher than that, unfortunately.
He was,
21 or 22. But that's 16% lower. So what does this all come together? It's how do we stop A.J. Brown? It's we don't let Hurts load up to make the big play, and we need to capitalize when we do get those pressures, and we're going to get them. We need to not allow him to get out and make a play. We need to capitalize on those pressures and sack him. And
more than the 15%.
More than the 15%. And that now it's not going to be easy, but perhaps it's not going to be as difficult as it was earlier in the season now that he's maybe a little bit gimped up from that knee injury. But that, I think, tells kind of this whole tale of the game of how the Cowboys need to beat the Eagles here is it's not about the pressures are going to come. It's capitalizing on those pressures.
It's not so much shutting down A.J. Brown. It's sacking Jalen. It's Jalen Hurts.
Or make the Star Trek character that you got.
He's making a new player? What's going on?
Jalen Hurts, my new Madden franchise player.
He's willing to throw the ball. We see that. He's willing to throw the ball away too. I'll take throwaways.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah, I'll take a throwaway.
They just need to pressure smartly. And I don't know how you do that, Dan Quinn. Okay, Lieutenant Diane?
Lieutenant Diane.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Lieutenant Diane. Here it comes.
Oh, well, I mean, Boots can't hear it, but I'll play it.
Lieutenant Diane. Lieutenant Diane. Diane, ice cream. That's Lieutenant Diane.
Crack him if you got him, son.
Crack him if you got him, baby.
So,
hey, well, you guys ever watch those National Geographic shows where you see the lions
chicks with
out?
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I was going to say chicks with huge nipples. Watch it all the time. Wait a sec. We're talking about something different
after
here?
that show is over, you see the lions, how they're hunting, and they're on the savannah. And you don't see them going after, like, the healthy animals. They go for that wounded gazelle.
Yeah.
That's what they turn out. And right now, Michael Parsons is watching Jalen Hurts kind of limp around. He knows that knee's bruised up and he can't run as fast as he used to. So, I mean, AJ was talking about the time, about the average, how much they have to throw away the ball. But we have an above average edge defender that can rush in, probably the fastest edge defender in the league. So I'm not worried about that. I'm watching Michael Parsons, licking his chops right now. He's just hungry because, again, he sees that wounded gazelle back there and he's ready to eat.
And don't forget about so usually it's the females that will go hunting, right? So no offense, Micah, you're the top girl in that pride. And you know who the man is? It's fucking D-Law.
No.
D-Law's holding down the fort.
You're saying Micah fucks D-Law.
I'm saying D-Law fucks Micah and that. But D-Law is playing more of that like protection role and Micah's going in for the kill.
D-Law is one of my favorite players, man.
I was just going to say that it's 2023, almost 2024. So it's like, does it have to be female that are the hunters? Can it be male? Can it be both?
Hey, Quit. You didn't ask that.
Wokio?
You didn't ask that. You didn't ask that lion. What?
Adds Wokio.
It's a lion, but it identifies as a lioness.
Yeah.
It's a lion, but it identifies as a Micah. Let's go.
What it comes down to is you're absolutely right, Boots. We do have the ability to pressure. In fact, our whole line has that ability. They need to just make it work.
Success rate.
Make it count.
Success rate on the pressures are great. They've showed that the more pressures you have, the better your defense is. It's great. I also want us to get home a couple times here. I love Mike. I love that Micah is the top guy in the NFL with rushes or pressures. Yeah. I want to see him be the top guy with sacks, right? I want him to get to Jalen Hurts. I want us to get there. I want us to disrupt, and I want us to turn and make this guy turn the ball over. And we definitely have Boots is right. Jalen Hurts is hurt. And we have the guys that can get to him. And I'm so jacked up for this game.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, do it. Because I'm about to hit you. There you go.
Finished it.
Gus wants to know, AJ, do you remember our heart-to-heart conversation we had at the tailgate?
I'm guessing no. That's when we left.
Did we touch tips?
Did we play swords?
Did we?
Did we dock? Did we fucking dock? Please tell me we didn't dock. When I get drunk, I dock.
I met a bunch of people I was waiting to go to the washroom. I was like, hey, what are you guys doing? They're like, oh, we're just here by ourselves. I was like, tailgate right there. Just head to that tent. Oh, no, I sent them over and said, tell them. Yeah. I sent them over, Adam. I said, see the guy over there? Go up to him and tell him that Ant owes me money, lots of money. Just these random dudes.
It was Boots and I, and Boots got right in there and was buddy. They broke right away. We have it all in video.
I was like, get up there and go to that guy and tell him that your brother Ant owes me a lot of money.
As soon as he walked up, I said, I don't know who you're talking about. Fuck off. And then we started scrapping. It was crazy.
I was ready. No, I was nice. I was like,
Boots
listen, whatever he owes you, we'll pay you in tequila shots. Okay. I'm sure 2 or 3 of these shots of Clase Azul, and that pretty much covers it.
Yeah,
he owes me $3.
He owes me $3. He owes me a couple of those toonies that you're talking about.
Well, you're a Canadian. Give me a toonie.
Okay. I don't know. We got score and bold predictions. Here we go.
Score and bold. And shoot, I don't have one for you, Boots, here, but I'll add your predictions as well. Just
get a cliff note.
But here, who wants to start? Who wants to go first?
Okay, are we doing add your lead note?
Well, are we doing score or bold predictions?
Well, you were about to lead out, and now you're asking what we're doing. I'll just go for it.
Because I have a bold prediction.
I got a bold one too. Micah Parsons, 4 sacks. Put it in. Pencil it in. Put it in, motherfucker. Let's go.
Whoa.
4 sacks for the linebacker. Boots got me jacked up about the Gazelle. Gazelle getting fucking bit.
I was going to say 3 sacks, but 4. That's really bold.
I'm jumping up.
That's really bold.
I'm jumping up.
Okay, so my bold prediction is going to be Deron Bland's going to tie the record for the NFL when he's covering A.J. Brown.
I think he breaks it.
I thought it was tying at 4. Anyways, he's getting a pick 6 on A.J. Brown this Sunday.
Okay.
That's my bold prediction.
I like that. Okay, Bootsy, what you got?
My boldie is going to be we're going to have 2 touchdowns by Tony Pollard, but they're going to be receiving touchdowns.
That is good. That's bold. I like
he's
that.
He's not running against his defense, but I could see him catching a slap, catching a screen pass or something like that, or maybe just scrambling for a quick pass and then, getting those yards after catch. But I think we're going to get 2 touchdowns out of Tony Pollard. He'll probably run for like 50 yards total, but he'll have like 30 receiving with 2 touchdowns.
I like it.
And sorry, Adam, what was yours?
AJ, but for Boots, it's 2 TD by TP20, but receiving.
Receiving.
Oh,
TDs.
Okay, sorry.
Rex.
I just saw my little symbol there.
Those are hilarious.
This is some behind baseball right now. I love the on the fly way Jay going.
Yeah, he had it. He dialed that in real quick.
He dialed it in without even.
And
AJ's the GOAT.
And those are boots that are made for walking, baby.
That's right, baby.
Mine is pick 6.
Whose bed have your boots been under?
Yeah.
Love it.
Whose bed have your boots been?
Canadian folklore right there.
Just not so bland pick 6.
Not so bland pick 6 on when he's covering AJ Brown, so it doesn't count if it's covering anybody but Brown.
I do like that. You're double downing on his pick 6. That is bold.
Guys and gals, if you are making a bold prediction, the bold prediction lever a year ago was much lower.
Oh, yeah.
It's starting to push up, and now we're starting to get real specific, and I love it.
Who was the dude? We had the Tampa Bay fan on, and he made his prediction. I was like, "It's bold predictions, dude." Like, I was like, "What's that bitch prediction you just made?"
That was that's going in Hall of Fame as
He
worst,
was just
worst.
yeah. He was just like Tom Brady throws in a touchdown. I was like, "What the fuck kind of bold prediction is that?"
So you mean like a predictable? No, not predictable.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna lead out now.
So I got to do my bowl.
Oh, AJ didn't go. You're too busy on the. You were.
I was making those boots made for walking.
He was too busy graphic designing.
He
you
was.
know?
What do
He
you
was
got,
too busy
AJ?
Graphic designing. What's your boldy, AJ?
Well, y'all went or two defense, one offense. So I'm going to go to offense. I'm going to say Dak Prescott.
That's our guy. I'm a Dak rider.
Dakota.
You tell me if this is bold enough because he just had this last week. Is 300 yards and three passing touchdowns?
That's bold.
Okay.
It is bold. If Dak does that against the Eagles defense,
Oh, yeah.
that's it. That's
Wait. Is it bold? I mean, what did Sam Howell do against that Eagles defense last Sunday?
Yeah,
he almost
but-
went for 400 yards. So
Yeah,
is it bold if he goes for 300?
But the Commanders I don't know what it is with the Commanders Eagles games. They just, I honestly, I'm just saying it because I want his bold prediction to be right.
yeah, because Sam Howell threw for like 386, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah. But
Look it up.
Plus one rushing touchdown.
Okay.
Oh, okay. There
There
we
it
are.
is. There it is.
That's bold as
Okay,
fuck.
now it's bold.
That's bold. You're right.
Boots just called
Hey,
you
Boots
out.
called you the fuck out.
I know. Well, it's if he only threw for one touchdown last week, Boots wouldn't have said shit. But
I don't know.
Maybe.
303 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. That's bold
okay,
for a pussy.
now we got to go to scores. let me lead out with score. Okay,
Oh, AJ's going
please.
in.
I need somebody else to lead. I want to go last.
I got to go 31-24 Cowboys.
Yes. Nice.
That's always. I think we always get around that, and we're never right. But it seems like a score that seems good. Bootsy, what do you got?
You said 31 what?
31-24 for the Cowboys. I think.
I'll go 35-17 Cowboys.
Oh, I love that.
35.
I love that. That is good. That is a good score. Ad, you said you're going to go last.
Yeah.
It's going to be a defensive matchup. I'm saying 17-14. Cowboys.
What do you want us to? You want us to fucking sleep? I mean, I wouldn't sleep on that. If we weren't doing the show and that type of score was going on, I'd probably be like, oh man.
So you're saying the Commanders dropped 31, and you don't think the Cowboys can drop at least that much?
17-14. It's a win. That's all. Boots, all I care about is a W. This is the thing. If I go low like this, it's going to be a shootout.
That's right.
I'm reverse psychology the score.
I see what you're doing there.
Okay.
Anth is in a bit of a weird, I don't know, Netflix series special where he's got like 3 different ants that are all in different universes predicting and
Just one shows up every once in a while.
yeah.
I just thought Ant probably like moonlights for DraftKings at night. He's not allowed to give
Sometimes the way he yells at us, sometimes it is like that.
I'd yell at you.
So sometimes when he talks regularly and it comes across,
Ad's like, are you mad at me? I'm like, no, I'm just talking.
I bet you say that
There's
to
one
all
moment
the
talk about your brotherly issues here, like
Yeah, all the time.
you're
Well,
the
we're
favorite.
waiting-
No, you're the favorite.
We're waiting. No, we both know we're not the favorite.
27-19 Cowboys.
What did you say?
27-19 Cowboys.
Odd score.
19. I like it. That would probably be a first time ever in the NFL.
You
Hey,
think so?
19's a weird score.
You gotta get a safety for that, right?
sometimes you got to go weird, and I don't mind it. We saw safety last week. If you yourself have a score prediction, pop it into the chat. You could, if you get it right, you could end up winning some Cowboys CanFan merch. Boosh!
Yeah, Gus says 24-21 Cowboys.
That's
Excellent.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, his boldy was Malik Hooker pick 6 too to the house.
I would love to see Malik Hooker get one.
Would love.
He had one last year, didn't he? Malik Hooker had a pick 6 last year. I can't remember who it was against. I think it might have been against the Colts, actually, his ex-team. But he definitely had a pick 6. I'd like to see it again. CanFan Bucks and Bets. Do I got to get the odds out here, guys?
Get those odds
get
out,
those odds
man.
Get a little boots. We're gonna give.
While you're looking at those odds, and sorry, I'm just gonna recap last week. So our week 8 results, me and Bandwagon Boy won here. Both won. We both won. Oh, we didn't get that up.
Sorry.
No, we're not on. Get us on camera.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. Woo, there we go. Adam.
Sweet, baby, too sweet.
Adam had 775 in the kitty. I had 1499 in the kitty. We both won. Adam went with the over. I went with the spread. Adam took home an extra 204 CanFan bucks. I took home an extra 271 CanFan bucks. We started with 1,000 each. So as a group, we're up.
We're up.
You guys are up.
We should be making bets.
You guys should be making bets.
Because right now, Adam has 979 CanFan bucks, almost back to even after you were up and then you went down, but you didn't quit, and that's what I like to see. Whereas AJ has just been slow grinding to 1770. And
Slow
now
grinding. I feel like one weekend you had that you hit hard and you
I missed my first week and I haven't missed yet.
You were conservative. What this tells you is when you're not conservative, you win.
No, I've been conservative since my first week.
So you got to get
I've been conservative the whole time.
You got to get Boots' up. While you're giving it up, get Boots up there. We're gonna give him honorary 500 like we gave to Nate.
Yeah, okay.
Boots, we're giving you 500 CanFan bucks. These things are
I'll
better.
take it.
These
I'm
things
not
are
gonna
great.
bet you out like Adam. You had a chance last week to bet all of it, and I think
pussed
Adam
out.
talked you out of it.
No.
Ed did talk me out of it.
No,
You
I
did.
said you
He
got to
talked
bet
you out.
more.
You wanted to bet the whole thing so you can catch up, and then you didn't.
Yeah, pussy.
No, he goes.
He said 500. Is that like the equivalent of Canadian dollars, or what are we betting here?
No, these are
CanFan
CanFan bucks.
Way more important than
Way
Canadian
more
dollars.
Wait, it's like almost like a cryptocurrency. I think you know. It's like one of those.
Hey,
things.
once we get our NFT going, don't worry, you'll be transfer your CanFan bucks.
You'll be getting those CanFan bucks.
Okay, so what we have right now, we have the Dallas Cowboys are -3 against the spread. The Eagles have the advantage. You got the money line is -65 for the Eagles, and the over-under is 46.
Under, yeah.
Under 46. Well, over. You just say over-under.
Right.
46.
Hey,
Over
I'm new-
46 or under 46?
I'm new to this.
Over-under. So if it's under 46, that means it is over 46.
That's right. Okay.
Okay, so Boots, you are the honorary guest with your $500 CanFan bucks. What would you bet on for this game?
I would bet the Cowboys are going to cover the spread. I mean, I told you they're going to win 34-17, and that's way more than +3. So I think that's a safe bet. If I was to add up the scores, on my prediction, it'd be 51, and that's really close to the 46. So I'm more confident in betting the whole shebang on the spread. So I would take the Cowboys with the +3.
Okay, so Bootsy with his $500 bet. That pays out $454.
Wow.
That's what.
Wow.
Let's go. Go big or go home.
So my only advice here as a betting non-professional, if you're super confident in the Cowboys to win, if you bet the money line, the $500 will pay out more than the over/under or the spread.
Okay, well, I'm doing 500 on the money line for the Cowboys winning.
Okay, so if you bet 500 on the Cowboys money line, that pays you out a whopping 700 big ones.
Yeah.
Because we're the underdogs.
I'm going to stick with my bet.
No, that's a good bet. Because Boots, the one good thing about the +3, you could still lose by a field goal and still win your bet. So yeah, it would suck the Cowboys lose, but you would still win your bet.
And just for the record,
we're
that's
not losing, though.
That's plus 700 to where I'm currently at.
Yes, you win 700.
Yeah.
So it actually pays out $1,200.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the spread doesn't matter if Cowboys or Eagles win as long as the difference is made.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what you mean.
No, it matters because if
So give me
if
an
Eagles win by 4,
You lose.
Or sorry, yeah.
No. But if Eagles win by 4 or more,
You lose.
Or if
I
Eagles
would
win
win.
by no matter, they can win by 1 point, you still lose.
okay, so you have to pick a team on the spread?
Yeah,
Philly's
you have to
favored
pick a
by
team.
3.
You have to still
So
pick a team on
in
the
order,
spread.
Philly has to win by at least 4 points. So say Philly wins by a field goal, I still win the bet.
Yeah.
God damn.
That's what I mean. So in a close game like this, but if you're confident, if you think the Cowboys are 100% going to win, money lines is going to pay out the most amount of money. If you think there's a chance that they lose by a field goal, +3 is your go-to.
Yeah.
Okay. That's tough.
AJ's going over under.
He's going over under because it doesn't matter who wins.
And that's also a good way to go about it.
You know what? I might even add a
Well, let
little
me finish mine
over under
before
on
you
there too,
fucking-
baby. I'm saying what
I'm going to tell you what I was thinking. I was going to try to hedge. I was going to go spread for Cowboys and then money line for Philly. Or sorry, reverse that. Spread for Philly, money line for Cowboys. But I don't like that. I'm going to go back to my over-under, and I'm going to go under.
It's been good for you. Over-under has been good for AJ. It has. So you're going under? How much?
Well, I got to...
Let me put this into my special app here. CanFan Bucks app.
I'm going to go under just a comfortable 200.
That pays out 181.
That's fine with me.
Ooh, because when AJ bets conservative, you know it's coming.
Well,
my
he's
way.
got the lead on you right now, though.
I know. I'm just saying, when AJ bets conservative, that's money. To
I like
my
it.
Ears,
I like it.
How much?
181 with the under.
I've been going... you can go and look at my bets. I've slowly built this capital.
In my mind, you've been conservative.
Okay. And sorry, one last thing before we move on from this. Money line is just picking
a team, win or loss. Money line's win or loss. The point spread is Philadelphia's literally they start off at -3 in the game.
Okay, I'm going to also money line 100 on Cowboys.
Shit, let me get my app back. Let me get my CanFan Bucks app back up. So you can also do parlays, but we won't get into that today.
Not yet. No, that's
we
next
won't,
year.
We won't get into parlays.
Sorry, what?
How much? You said 100?
Just 100.
So that would be Cowboys. That will pay out at 140.
Okay.
Almost pays out more than your fucking other bet.
Well, that's they're underdogs.
Yeah.
So if you bet on them to straight up win, it's always going to be the most beneficial bet if you believe they're going to win.
I'm just going single bet.
Single bet?
Me and Boots are single betting this.
Okay.
Boots has a chance to have more CanFan Bucks than Ad after this weekend.
So I might be able to go back to Nate and Boots and get them to give me
Loan Shark, yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Get me a vig.
So final bets here. We got Adam doing the money line for Cowboys. Alex going the under and money line Cowboys, and then Boots is taking spread Cowboys.
There it is.
Boots is always taking the spread, you know?
He's got it.
That's right. Always.
Okay.
Let's finish this, guys. Let's finish this up with some CanFantasy Football.
Which Boots is a part of the league, so we like to look at that.
So last week, game of the week, CanFan Ant versus Let Me See Them Titties. CanFan Ant took the game almost 111 points to 89. Really cementing himself in that number one spot by taking out, was that the number 2 guy? I think so.
EJ Savage.
Oh, no, sorry, that was not number 2. But took out EJ Savage, who's a respectable mind here. But here we go, led by a big game from CMC. Cowboys CanFan beats, let me see them, TDs, sorry.
Tutties.
I mean, a great game, man. You kind of really leaned on the running back.
My first overall pick, Christian McCaffrey.
Then you had some really good points here from Garrett Wilson and Mark Andrews, tight end with 12. And just kind of fit it like, and you have Brandon Aubrey, who put up 13 points as a kicker.
Keeps doing it.
So kudos to you, my dude.
I took that as a joke pick. I took Brandon Aubrey when we were doing our draft as I was like, well, I need one Dallas Cowboy.
Kicker. Yeah.
Well, I was like, I need a Dallas Cowboy.
What's smartest?
I'll take the kicker. I'll drop him if I need to.
There's only one, so
and he's worked out great for me.
But we can go here and look at our Week 8 results. Bandwagon Boys lost after winning 4 in a row. We had to take a little bit of
Fuck you, Boots.
a reality hit. Dak to the future took us out.
That's Boots.
Completed my sweep of the studio.
He has.
He
He swept
last week, and then I went after the Bandwagon Boys. Just I knew it. I told you guys.
Boots has swept the studio.
Well,
Joke's on you. It's carpet in here.
hey, Boots, you needed that one. It bounced you back into the win column. You're 5-3, 4th place. We're all in the playoffs here still. The other big takeaway, I just want to look down here, Super User and Saquon D's Nuts both had huge scoring games, but Super User took them. And Super User's been winning some real close games.
That's Kilo.
That's Kilo, yeah. So Week 8 schedule, we got Bandwagon Boys versus Levi. Let Me See Them TDs versus Daddy Dak. Cowboys CanFan versus Playmakers 88. Super User versus Deuce, which you got to change your name now. Come on. Saquon D's Nuts versus the Dak Haters, and Dallas Cowboys versus Dak to the Future.
There it is.
I have on the game of the week here. Saquon D's nuts versus Barry Grant Jr.'s the Dak haters, because these boys are second and third, okay? One's been on a 4-game winning streak, the Dak haters, and one's been on a 3-game losing streak, Saquon D's nuts, which I think
My brother-in-law and my son
That's right.
are a well, I mean, it's one person managing the team. Similar to the bandwagon boys. AJ asks me what I think, but
You're the promoter.
I'm head of marketing for the
You're the face of the
Bandwagon Boys.
franchise.
I'm the face of the franchise. I go out there, I need to talk when I need to. And my ops manager is running the team. It's great. And we're happy that way.
We look at this game. Saquon D's nuts is set to win by almost 25 points, but Barry Grant Jr.'s the Dak hater himself, he needs to go out and find a wide receiver and a kicker. So if you're in CanFan and you have some of those guys laying on your bench, maybe throw him the Dak haters' way for a trade. But otherwise, things are just like in the NFL. Things are starting to shake up. There's a bunch of people in the middle, and there's some guys rising to the top. After this game, we're going to see who joins Anth in that
echelon.
in that
Upper
Super
echelon.
Saiyan tier.
Yeah.
Oh, Boots is
So
saying
it'll
it's
be
him.
exciting.
Boots is saying it's him.
Okay, yeah. Well, Boots, you as well are in the same predicament. This game itself, though, really interesting. 2 5-3 teams, one on the upward trajectory, one that's feeling the pain. Let's see if they can turn it around. But that's CanFantasy Football, baby.
Hey.
Guys, Philly week.
Philly week.
I want to add that I also beat Kilo. He's part of the show as well. So it was a clean, well, not sweet, but a clean vacuum. I got one of those Dysons, and I just came in here and just sucked up all the dirt.
Have you played EJ yet?
No.
Oh, that's the final.
That's the final boss.
That's
The
the
final
Pokemon
boss.
champion right there. That's final boss.
I got love for you, EJ. I love you, bro.
Final boss. Actually, shout out to EJ Savage. Got to get him on
Shout
the
out
show
to
here
EJ
pretty
Savage.
quick.
Check out his show.
Okay, guys, it is week 9 in the NFL season.
9.
Super depressing, though. I hate when I say that. Week 9, we're almost in double digits of the NFL season, which is super
know.
depressing. The benefit of it is a big week. It is Eagles week. We all get a little bit extra saucy for Eagles week. It's kind of like how San Fran is, but it has a little bit more meaning. Divisional, it's the first of 2 matchups. I'm excited for it. Boots, before we get out of here, let anyone know who you are, where they can find you besides on the CanFan podcast.
You guys can find me on OnlyFans. I just set mine up.
Hey, and it's worth it.
I do.
Free
got a
30
TikTok out
days.
there.
Free for 30 days.
At BotG _Eric. And then that's pretty much that. My YouTube, I don't really have any channels up. I just try to contribute to you guys. And also on Boys in the Zone, EJ's had me on as a guest a couple times too. So I'm just really excited to be able to be here with you guys. I'm honored. I love you guys. It's such a blast. And it's the best podcast Cowboys on. Well, it doesn't have to be Cowboys. You get any topic.
Any
It's the best in
topic.
the world.
And look-
I'm honored to be here. Thank you guys.
Boots sold himself short. You are the CanFan Street Team captain, bro. He is the CanFan Street Team captain.
Appreciate that.
He is a very integral part of this stuff. We've met him multiple times. Like you said, we love you, buddy. We appreciate having you on. We're going to get you on more. Bandwagon boys, it's a big week. How you guys feeling about it? Feeling good? Final thoughts?
I'm ready.
We're ready for it. We love the pressure. When a big game means that the show has to be dialed in, we're both dialed. We're both dialing and profiling and styling and wiling and dialing and dialing. No, I'm pumped. I can't wait. I'm glad it's a midday game. So
Get sauced and
we're
then
gonna
go,
get sauced.
then go eat some saucy wings at Major.
Yes, sir. Okay, if you know an Eagles fan, I have a project for you tomorrow. You go and find them, and you go ahead and you tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I know one.
We out. Philly sucks, baby.
Shout out
Philly
to chat.
sucks.
Gus.
And thanks to the chat out there, everybody.
Love you, chat. Love you, chat. Love you, chat.
Pop, pop.
Oh man, that was awesome.